23-year-old Tiffany Glass is suing her former roommate, 20-year-old Kelly Carr, because she says Kelly moved out of their apartment, giving only 5 days' notice and leaving behind numerous unpaid phone bills.
Miss Glass, Miss Carr was your roommate?
Yes.
Did you know her before she moved into your apartment?
No, I did not.
Did she answer an ad? Is that how she got your apartment?
No, she got it through a friend of mine.
And you have a one-bedroom, two-bedroom apartment?
2-bedroom, 2-bathroom.
What was her rent?
$375.
And how long were you living in bliss with the defendant?
She moved in February, and it was fine. You know, we totally got along. It was fine in March, and it kind of started to go down at the end of March. You know.
Now, had she paid you for February?
Yes.
She paid you for March?
Yes.
When did she move out?
At the end of May.
She paid you for April?
Yes.
She paid you for May?
Yes.
So why are we here?
Because she left at the very end of May, and she gave me 5 days' notice to find somebody new and decided that she didn't have to pay anything else.
Did you have a lease with her?
No.
So?
She just left.
You weren't getting along?
Correct.
Is that right?
Right.
Why weren't you getting along?
Well, I didn't really know. There wasn't enough communication between the two of us.
But you knew enough to know that you weren't getting along?
Pretty much. But there was never enough, oh, well, I'm moving out. Oh.
It's hard to live with somebody.
Yes, it is.
Well, since she paid you for the months that she was there and she moved out 5 days before the end of the month, did she owe you any money? I mean, other than the rent. I'm not considering the rent.
Before that, she didn't pay the deposit when she moved in, but I said, don't worry about that until June because, you know, at the end of June, the other roommate, blah, 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 was going to get hers, and then she could give it to me then.
Fine, so we're not talking about the deposit. But other than the rent, she's paid up?
Oh, no, there's several phone bills. And
what phone bills?
Which phone bills?
Mm-hmm.
There was phone bills from, the statement date was on June 23rd, and then it went back into May. It went from May to June. And there was a $40 900 call that I shouldn't have paid, and there were several long-distance phone calls.
In what amount? Come, quickly.
Around $75.
In long-distance calls?
In long-distance calls.
Okay. Tell me why you left.
I left because living with her was unbearable. I went through, starting back at the end of March, early April, out of the blue, I started getting notes on my bed saying, you need to stay away from my friends. When I first moved in with her, I had just moved down to California. I didn't know very many people. Tiffany was nice, and she took me out. She introduced me to people, but then she tried to take that away. She said, you stay away from my friends. My friends are my friends. Your friends are your friends. You're going to make my life miserable.
So girly things.
Girly things.
Girly things. All right. Girly things. You paid February, March, April, and May. She says that you owe her $115 for phone bills.
I owed her approximately $150 for everything. That was gas, everything. And I told her when I gave her 2 weeks' notice that I would be leaving, that I will pay that. You just send me the bills to my grandmother's house, and then I'll send you a check. But when that happened, she began leaving harassing, vulgar phone mails on my voicemail. I would get them at work. They would disturb me at work. I would have to leave work because I would be so upset. I got harassing I have copies of the messages on papers. I have letters that she sent me threatening me.
That you owe her money?
That I owe her money, and if I don't, she's telling I quote, every living soul what I have done to her. I didn't do anything to her. I was protecting myself. I left. I didn't have to give her any notice, but I gave her 2 weeks' notice, being the last week of May, and then the first week of June, and I gave her 1 week's rent.
For June?
For June. I have paper here to prove it.
Judge Judy is ready to rule.
Explain something to you, Miss Carr. We don't even have to go into that. She is no longer claiming you owe her any money for rent because I'm not giving her any money for rent. I believe that you paid her all the rent that she's going to get. So you acknowledge that you owed her some money for phone bills. Is that correct?
Right, yes.
Good. Fine. Then we have no problem. Judgment in this case is for the plaintiff in the amount of $115. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy will continue in a moment. And on the next Judge
Judges number 61 on the calendar in the matter of Lauenborg versus Romano. Parties have been sworn in, Your Honor. You may be seated. Have a seat, sir.
I've read your papers and I'm trying to decipher them. A little complicated. What I gather, Miss Longborg, is that you were both in a romantic and business relationship with the defendant.
That's correct.
How long was the romantic relationship?
We started dating in February of '95, and
when did you go into business together?
June 30th, July 1st of '95.
And that was a pool business?
Correct.
Yes, ma'am.
According to your complaint, sometime in '95, the defendant was using your van.
Right.
Stopped for speeding. He had some
Exactly.
outstanding warrants from tickets, and you bailed him out.
Right.
How much did you pay for the bail?
For that one in July, it was $2,050.70.
All right, let's take that one first, sir. Tell me about that incident with the van.
I got pulled over. It was towed due to no license. I wasn't
No, you had no license.
Correct. I had no license. Okay. I don't think I was arrested that day. I'm not sure. They did tail the van. We got it back. But as I was taking care of tickets, since I had a lot of failure to appears, and these tickets were 5 years old, they decided they wanted to hold on to me when I went in to take care of them. And that's when the bail was. That's when she would bail me out.
Bailed you out and paid the tickets.
Right.
Did you pay her back?
Of course. Yes, ma'am.
Let me see.
Okay, well, through our business relationship, Mrs. Longmore ran the business and was paying herself back for many other things, but also the tickets. I do have the business books here, which is in her writing.
Your Honor,
Just a minute. You say she was paying herself back through writing checks.
To herself, correct. Marked loan payment.
Is that correct?
this was a personal loan guaranteed by him to pay me back from his personal funds, not through the business.
Well, did you take any money out of the business other than your salary?
I have not taken a penny out of the business for a salary. I loaned the business initially $4,000 to buy the first route.
Is that true?
Yes, ma'am.
And
Okay.
$25,000 in January of '96 to buy a second route. The loan payments that are coming out of this checkbook for the business were for the purchase of prior pool businesses. Has nothing to do with his personal legal problems.
There came a point in time, I assume, when the two of you romantically separated, and I assume at that time...
There was some disagreements. He's a very hostile and angry person, and very manipulative. He lived in my home with his children. In my home, I cared for them and paid for them, and I did many things for him. And he did some things for me, helped me take care of my daughter. And I had a zero tolerance for drug use, and he came home one time after he'd gotten stoned with his buddies, and I had packed up all his stuff to move him out, and when he came home, he just packed it, he just moved it right back in and said, never do that again. So that was October of '95. So I've been patiently trying to resolve these conflicts and working on it, and it's just been very difficult. He's very manipulative, and he knows my vulnerabilities, and he presses on them.
Were you paid back all of the money that you put into the business?
No, ma'am.
You told me it's about $29,000 that you put into the
Plus
business.
the van, right.
Plus the van.
Which he's sold.
Did you sell the van?
Yeah, yeah. She signed the pink slip in a bill of sale. It was paid for. I didn't sell it. I traded it in. I bought a pool truck.
I changed the name after the assault where he beat me up.
When was that?
This
was the assault?
particular assault was December 19th of '96.
Was he arrested for this assault on you?
He was, yes. And he made bail. And the person that bailed him out that time got paid back within 10 days.
What happened with that case?
He pled guilty on June 16th, and he got a 1 year and 5 days suspended sentence, 3 years probation.
Is that correct, sir?
Here, if you want to know what I got, I'll give it to you right here.
I don't know. I want to know if you pled guilty. You don't have to look in your papers for that.
I didn't assault her, first of all.
You didn't assault her?
No, ma'am, I didn't.
But you pled guilty to it.
Yeah. He beat me up 3 times within a 15-hour period. He made bail and went right to my apartment and beat me up again, and that's when he stole the van the first time.
That's incorrect. That's incorrect.
There's pictures and everything. It's
That's incorrect.
There's a huge case down in the
Mr. Romano,
Yes.
You pled guilty to the assault, is that correct?
No, those charges I don't know what I pled to. It wasn't those original charges. I was charged with assault with a deadly weapon, which I was...
What was the deadly weapon?
Supposed to be a bat.
A baseball bat.
My child's bat.
No, it's a Louisville Slugger.
Where did he hit you with it?
On the leg right here.
Judge Judy will continue in a moment.
You have to have witnesses in order to establish that to me.
Phone numbers. Give them a call.
You give him a call. That's not my job. My job is to hear this case, sir.
And later today,
Miss Marion, you can collect cans in the street and get $15 a week. You have to work and earn $15 a week because you have an obligation.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Former business partners and lovers, Lauren Lonborg and Charles Romano, are fighting over business debts, a computer, and bail money.
Miss Longborg, right now I have, on your side, $2,060.70. Now I'm going to hear about this cross-complaint. Mr. Romano, you are cross-complaining against her in the amount of $2,100 because you say she wrote letters to your accounts.
Yeah, she wrote
So let me hear about that.
She wrote a letter, pretty nasty letter.
I have the letter.
Yeah, I've got a copy also. Pretty nasty, stating a lot of falsehoods, making it look like I had beat her up, put her in the hospital for 10 days.
Well, let me take a look at it.
Mrs. Longborg had some stability problems early in our relationship.
Let me read the letter.
Yes, ma'am.
And then you'll come back to me.
Okay.
Well, you seem to, in a chronological order here, describe not only your business, but your personal relationship with the defendant.
Right.
Something, quite frankly, Ms. Longborg, I don't understand. I don't understand why you would have sent a letter talking about the fact that he beat you up, talking about the fact that you were hospitalized for 10 days.
Because that's, I throw the hospitalization in because that's when a lot of everything happened.
Your daughter, who was 9 years old, died.
That's correct. And I was a wreck. And that's when he took advantage of me.
That is not true. Mrs. Longborg stayed with me after her daughter passed on, and after she got out of the hospital for 2 weeks in March, from March 15 on, because she was getting kicked out of her apartment.
Well,
and
listen to me, it sounds to me as if she has had a very difficult time.
Yes, she has, definitely. And
I mean, you lose a child, that's the most difficult thing in the world.
This child was severely handicapped. She was a special child to me and my children. I love this little girl just as much as anybody. She was taken to my mother's daycare. I treated her just like she was one of my own. I mean, like Mrs.
That's all true, but it doesn't give him license to steal everything from me.
Why did you write this letter?
At the time, the DA had assured me that this was going to trial. This was the 5th trial date, and that Wes was looking. I didn't say he was going. I said it was told to me that he may be spending as much as up to 1 year in prison or in jail for these crimes. Wes was making arrangements with his buddies to take over the accounts, which these are incredible estates, and I would not trust his buddies.
Miss Longmore, there is something disingenuous about what you say to me. I'm going to tell you why, madam. Because if your concern was for the business, a very simple letter to the clients indicating that there may be an interruption in service. I cannot vouch for the personnel who are going to be dealing and servicing with the accounts, and since you've been dealing with me over the phone, I want to let you know I am no longer associated with the business and cannot personally vouch for the people who will be servicing your pool in the event that Mr. Romano is not with us for a year. You instead chose to, in a very systematic way, allow these strangers into your private life.
That was my choice.
Well, now, you have to establish to me, sir, that you had some loss as a result of that.
Well, I lost, it has changed. I lost one more customer as of this letter.
Well, you're going to have to establish to me that your loss of business was as a result of this letter.
Right here. Here's 4 these people. As this gentleman was with me as we're on the route, people are coming out. Hey, what's this letter? Are you going to jail or not?
Now, listen to me, sir. You have to have witnesses in order to establish that to me.
This gentleman right here witnessed. They said, I don't want service anymore. I don't want to get in the middle of this. I'm sorry. Thank you for your service. Goodbye.
Now listen to me. They have to come to court.
They don't want to get in the middle of it. They don't want to come to court.
Well, they may not want to get in the middle of it, but you've established one part of your claim. The second part of your claim is that as a result of that, you lost business.
Phone numbers. Give them a call.
You give them a call. That's not my job. My job is to hear this case, sir. Your job is to bring witnesses into a court so that I can question the people and make a determination as to their veracity and what motivated them and ask them the questions, not somebody who overheard them. That's why we do not allow hearsay in a court.
Judge Judy will continue in a moment. And later today,
she got a payment once every month. And if she didn't, she sure got on my case and got it somehow.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Former business partners and lovers, Lauren Lonborg and Charles Romano, are fighting over business debts, a computer, and bail money.
Unless the clients are here to tell me that they stopped using your services, sir, because of this letter, I am not entertaining your cross-complaint. I mean, I think that the letter was in terrible. It was very poor taste, very bad judgment, and certainly unprofessional.
I felt no other alternative.
She's trying to slander my name for me to lose customers because she has nothing to lose. She is not part of the business. She is no longer part of the business as of December, and she's merely just trying to ruin my name.
How do you determine that?
Miss Longborn.
Sorry.
I'm not getting into whether you own any piece of this business or not. Certainly, if you owned a piece of the business and you wrote that letter, that would be dumber than dumb. Mr. Romano, I'm going to tell you right now, I do not believe, sir, that the plaintiff has been paid back all of the money that she loaned the business to start it. You can't even look me square in the eye and say she's been paid back all the money. But that is not the subject of this lawsuit because that's far more than the jurisdiction of this court. I am entertaining your application for the money that he owes you as a result of the personal loan that you made to him for his bail and for the tickets because I really don't believe that you have been paid back for that. So I'm awarding you a judgment in the amount of $2,060.70. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out. I'll back up to your right, please.
I have zero tolerance. You knew that on the day one.
I smoke pot once in a while. Shoot me. You want to do it right now? Shoot me.
Am I done?
and now the next case.
All parties on Olson versus Marion, step forward, please. Parties on Brown versus Silberg, step forward.
32-year-old retail manager Paul Brown is suing his building manager, Greg Silberg, 52, because his dog fell off the roof when a cat frightened it.
Mr. Silberg, are you the owner of this building in question?
No, I'm the owner of the management company.
Okay. And this is a 3-story building?
Correct.
You, sir, live in that building?
Yes.
And how long have you lived there?
I lived there approximately about 9 months.
And you have a dog?
Yes.
That dog?
I have 2 dogs.
But that's the dog in question?
Correct.
You were going into your building?
Actually, I was going to walk my dog on the, and I was going to visit a friend on the 3rd floor. And
in the building?
In the building.
And your dog did not have a leash on?
They both had leashes on them. I took them in the elevator, walked up to the 3rd floor. I went to knock on my friend's door on the 3rd floor, which is right around the corner from the sun deck. And I had both dogs in one hand, on my left hand, and they saw a cat. This is late at night, about 10:30 at night. They saw a cat. They got loose. As I was running up the stairs, the dogs already were up on the patio or the sun deck, and that one fell. He was down below, and that was it. I mean...
Just a second. Did you see the cat, sir?
Look
at me.
Yes.
Did you see a cat?
Yes, I did. I saw a cat.
Late at night.
That's how they darted out of my hand.
Late at night, you're ringing a bell.
Knocking on the door, correct.
Knocking at a door, right? Like this.
Correct.
Where was the cat?
The cat was to the left, going up to the sun deck.
I'm not sure I believe that you saw a cat. That's first. I do believe that your dog ran up to the sun deck. Fell off. Right?
Right.
And you're suing him for $5,000.
Correct.
Tell me why.
Well,
because that's the dog. The dog is here.
Right. First of all, I have pictures before and after, what the sun deck looked like before and after, and as well as the medical bills, which ranged into approximately about $1,300–1,400. And for my dog's a championship dog, and I was actually going to breed him. I have papers on him, and as well as I have the notice from the city of West Hollywood saying that that sun deck was not properly permitted, and if they had the proper railing on that sun deck, my dog would have never fell. And that's why I'm suing him for $5,000.
I'll see all of his pictures.
And this is the medical bill. And I also have a letter from the doctor stating the condition of the dog.
Just a minute. Who found the dog?
Phil found the dog. He was downstairs waiting for me.
Judge Judy will continue in a moment.
Can I say something?
Do you feel as if you must, sir?
You've kind of said it all, to be honest.
Then why don't you just be quiet?
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Paul Brown is suing building manager Greg Silberg because his dog fell off the roof. Mr. Silberg says the dog should have been on a leash.
Describe the dog when you found him.
Well, I was standing outside, and I heard the loud noise, him hitting the concrete. When I found him, he was unconscious, tongue hanging out of his mouth. He was bleeding from his mouth. I went and grabbed a towel, picked him up. He was stiff. I didn't even know if he was alive anymore. And then I found a pulse. I took him into the apartment, found a pulse, called the veterinary hospital, and we drove him immediately to the hospital. He was unconscious for a couple days.
Mm-hmm. When you found the dog that night, and I want you to think very carefully, sir, did the dog have a leash?
Yes.
How do you know that?
Because I found the dog.
A couple of things. I don't understand how this dog got away from you if you were holding both dogs in your hand with the leash.
I had them both on one hand as I was knocking on the door of the third floor. And I did see a cat, and I saw them, running after the cat, and I did see a cat. And he went off, the other dog, because I called them both.
Well, just a second.
Both their names.
So what you're telling me is you had both dogs
in my left hand, correct.
In one hand.
Right.
And you couldn't control holding on to the leashes of both dogs.
No, because actually when they saw the cat.
Well, the cat's not his fault.
Okay, but the balcony's his fault.
Just a second. How?
He broke the law. The law, I mean, that balcony was not properly permitted. If that balcony was properly permitted, that dog would have never fell.
This is not a place that you didn't know about. You knew about this place. Now, I'm not saying he's not in some way responsible for not having it properly gated off. I looked at the gate that he put up there. Your dog can get through that gate.
Yeah, but if
Just a second. If that's a proper gate that he put up afterwards, that little skinny dog can get through that gate and could have gotten through that gate that night. So could a cat.
Not running that fast.
What do you mean not running?
Not running. A dog cannot get through that gate. Those bars are approximately 4 inches apart. Now, if a dog's running at full speed, the dog cannot go through that gate.
You mean he'd have to stop and wiggle through?
He would have to stop.
Just a second.
He would realize that no.
He would realize. The dog would realize.
He would realize that he would not be able to get through that gate going that fast. That's why the dog fell, because he was going so fast and he didn't see the drop. That's why the dog fell. Now, if that gate was up there, the dog would have stopped.
This gate, sir, is not designed to keep out dogs and cats. It's designed to protect people. Dog and cat owners are responsible for taking care of their own pets.
Correct.
Judge Judy is ready to rule.
Just because there is an accident doesn't mean somebody has to pay you. That's not what the courts are about, sir. This is a people protector. And the fact that you suggest that a dog at full run couldn't go through there, that may be. Certainly, a cat can wiggle through here. Certainly, a small dog can get through here. The design
but not
of it...
at full speed.
I don't care whether it's full speed.
If it's chasing, if the dog's chasing a cat...
You're never going to get through to him. Never going to get through to him, sir. Not every injury results in an award of money. You are responsible for keeping control of your dog.
And he's responsible for keeping the railing. I mean,
yes, sir, and I will tell you something else. If somebody chased you up on the roof that evening and you fell off the third floor because there was no adequate railing, you could sue him for a lot more than $5,000 because
If I
he is
live.
responsible, if you lived, and if you could breed, because that's what you're complaining about. But because there was no bar or gate there, that's not the reason your dog fell. Your dog fell because you dropped the leash. And your dog
but I didn't drop the leash, Your Honor. The dogs got away from me. I didn't drop the leash.
Mr. Brown, sir.
Can I say something?
Do you feel as if you must, sir?
You've kind of said it all, to be honest.
Then why don't you just be quiet?
Okay.
This lawsuit is dismissed.
Parties are excused. Step out, please.
Judge Judy will continue in a moment. And on
Step forward, please.
case,
Parties on Penda versus Crane. Step forward, please.
55-year-old engineering assistant Dee Pender says she bought a computer for 43-year-old Robert Crane while the two were dating. Robert claims he knows nothing about it.
While you and the defendant were dating, you claimed that you bought a computer for him, he agreed to pay you for the computer, stopped dating, and he hasn't paid you for the computer.
Right.
That's simple?
Right.
He says he doesn't know what you're talking about. You never bought him a computer. He doesn't know about a computer. Is that right?
Correct.
Interesting. So, how long were you dating before you bought him this computer, and tell me why you did in the first place?
Probably about 4 months I was dating him, and he was over that night, and we had talked about that I might get a computer. And I was on the phone, and he came in, and he says, "Oh, you're ordering a computer?" And I said, "Yeah." He says, "Do you think I could get one too?" And I said, "Well, I'll ask." So I asked, and she said, "You can buy as many as you want."
Well, where were you ordering these from?
Through my company that I work for.
Were you getting a good deal on them?
Yes.
Is that the idea?
Yes, uh-huh.
Go ahead.
They offered them to the employees only. And she said, yes, I could get as many as I wanted. I said, okay. He says, well, put it on your charge for me, and I'll pay you back next month. Fact is, he says, I'll pay the whole bill off. And I went, shh, wait till I'm done. So I finished ordering 2 computers and got off the phone. He says, yeah, he says, I'll pay the whole bill off. Everything on your bill I'll pay off. Yours and mine and anything else that's on there. He said, I make plenty of money. He said, no problem. And I said, no, you pay what you owe me. I pay my own bills.
How much was the computer that you bought for him?
In the end, by the time we got the everything on there was $1,943.55. That's what it finally came to.
Okay.
So he comes over and he says, I make $15,000 a month. Here's my check stub. I'll show you. And I looked and I went, whoa. And he says, yeah, I make plenty of money. Don't worry, I'll pay the whole thing. I said, no, just pay your bill. That's all I want. And so the bill came in, and he says, well, the next month, he says, I'm a little short of cash. Can I just make the payment this time? He said, actually, I'll pay it when my tax check comes in. He said, that'll be in the next week. And I said, okay. I said, you know, pay $100 on this. Okay. So
did he give you $100?
Yes. Yes, he paid me $100.
Well, let me ask you this question. Have the computers been delivered?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, they were delivered the next month.
Did you talk to him about his computer?
Oh, yeah. He said, yeah, he liked it. He thought it was great.
What kind was it?
A Micron? Micron, I believe. Here it is right here.
Okay. And which credit card did you put it on?
My Citibank Visa.
Okay.
There's a little note here that he left tagged on my car after he moved out in the middle of the night in his handwriting saying, I will pay you. He put this on my car. I put the date up there of the day he left it on my car.
Let me have it, please. Yes. I'm listening.
Yes, ma'am. As far as this computer, she'd called me and said she'd purchased a computer. And as far as another computer, I know nothing about it. I was very shocked on this lawsuit that she served me. I was very shocked. I was very shocked. And the thing I did, I finally had to move because all she did was call me every night. She wanted to pursue this relationship. Hey, I didn't want to hear anything else about it. So I finally had to move because we lived in the same complex. I did not need to hear any more of this from her.
If you can't be quiet, you have to leave. Do you understand?
So the only thing I can see is she's very distressed that she couldn't pursue this relationship.
So you think she bought these 2 computers that are clearly on her bill for somebody else, or maybe she just wanted 2 computers for herself.
Possibly. As far as that, the only thing I knew, she called me up, she said, oh, I bought a computer. Oh, you did? Okay. Fine.
If there would be a copy of a check that you gave her for $100, what would that be for?
It would be for some stamps that I purchased from her for a mail order business that she was going into, that I paid her for.
You are so full of baloney.
Am I?
You are so full of baloney. But you're a very quick thinker.
I'm not full of
You're a very quick thinker. I don't have a check for $100, a copy of a check.
But still,
I just wanted to figure out, to see what your answer would be if you thought I had a copy of a check.
That's what it would have been for.
Oh, God. Must be smoking something real good.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
$1,943.55 is what your Visa bill shows. Does very fancy footwork, Miss Pender. You're very lucky that whoever made the decision that this was not going to be a long-term relationship, whether it was you or whether it was him, whoever it was, you're very lucky.
Yes.
Earth to Mr. Crane. You can't pull the wool over everybody's eyes all the time, sir.
I'm sorry.
What were the interest charges since this purchase was made? His interest charges, we're going to give him credit for the $100, even though he now says it's for stamps.
And also lost wages because same time he moved, his company moved, and it took me 2 days to find out where they were.
You're going to, listen, you're going to chalk that up to experience.
Okay.
All I want to know is the interest. It's $320.
She had a business card all along.
$21.63, right?
Got there.
That's what I got there. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $2,163.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy will continue in a moment. And on the next...
Parties on Rice versus Gardner. Step forward, please.
18-year-old Audra Sullivan Rice is suing Sarah Gardner, the editor of their high school yearbook, because she says out of jealousy, Sarah deliberately used an ugly photo for her senior portrait.
Order. All rise. Quiet, please. Now, this is case number 268 on the calendar in the matter of Rice versus Gardner. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Have a seat, please, sir.
You graduated from high school.
Correct.
You were in charge of the high school yearbook.
Correct. The senior section.
Where they put all the pictures of the seniors, and underneath it, you know, most likely to succeed, most likely to have 10 children before 30th birthday, those little things, right? And Miss Rice, you claim in this lawsuit, where you're asking for $3,500, that the defendant caused a very ugly picture of you to be placed in the yearbook. Correct. Not the picture you had selected.
Correct.
And that's because the two of you had some sort of a history together.
Correct.
So tell me about it.
She disliked me due to my relationship with her now ex-boyfriend, who's my witness. And she was very jealous, and this is a very malicious and dishonest thing to do. And
let me see the picture that she put of you in the yearbook.
This is the picture that was supposed to be in there, and if you notice, it says yearbook selection on the back. And I verified that with the photography studio.
No, that's not such a bad picture in there.
My eyes are half shut. It's not the point that it's like a horrible picture, it's the point that everybody that turns to that picture is going to see me and remember me as that. And that's not what I want. And that wasn't what I asked for.
Well, first of all, I'm glad that I looked at it, because I was really picturing something that looked like Quasimodo based upon what you wrote in your complaint. I mean, you're a very pretty young lady. It would be very hard to make you look ugly. I want to tell you something. The truth of the matter is,
I sort of like this one better than this one, but that's just my own personal taste. Let's find out what the defense is for putting the picture that she had not selected in the yearbook. Miss Gardner.
Okay. There's about 300 senior pictures that were in my charge. What was supposed to happen is that seniors were supposed to specify which picture they wanted in the yearbook.
Show her the back of that picture.
Either they were to call their photo company.
No.
Right.
She did that. She did everything she was supposed to do. Miss Gardner, I want you to look at me and tell me whether, when you selected that picture for her, did you get a stack of them from the photographer?
Yes, we got a whole box of envelopes.
Okay. That you took any special care in selecting her picture?
No. There were 3 other individuals that worked with me the first day. Turi, who was my witness, worked with me on the first day, and then there were 2 other individuals who helped me.
You worked with her?
Yes.
Step up here.
And what we did is that the seniors that did specify which picture they wanted,
She did that.
Right. The numbers that did indicate, we pulled those pictures. And
Hers
then,
did.
And then the 3/4 of the seniors who did not specify, we were advised by Mr. Sonamaker to pick the top photo from each envelope.
Okay, but she picked which photo she wanted. It's on the back of her photo, that's the one she picked.
If Mr. Sonamaker had a meeting with her and she specified, he did not let me know. We did divide up the pictures between me and the other 3 individuals that worked with me, and since we were working very fast, no, I don't know who handled Audra's picture.
Do you remember who handled her picture?
No, I going through, it takes you about 2 minutes to do each one, and you don't even look at their names really. You just look to see if the barcode was there. And
now, Miss Rice, other than the fact that you have a history with Miss Gardner over you.
Correct. In which?
What other evidence do you have that she purposely picked the wrong picture to put in your yearbook?
Okay, this is what
here we go.
The process I went through.
I know the process you went through. You picked the right picture. You put the right thing on the back. Just tell me what proof you have that she purposely selected the wrong picture. Do you know?
Yes, ma'am.
Sure. Just a minute.
Your Honor, on the last day of school, she was pestering me to get me to sign her yearbook.
Who was?
Miss Gardner. And she said that, "Do you see Audra's picture?" And I said, "Yeah." And she laughed hysterically as if to say that she did it herself. She said, "Ha ha ha, did you see how funny it looked?"
So she just laughed and said, "Did you see her picture?" Don't tell me as if yours in your mind. What she said was, "Did you see Audra's picture?" And she laughed.
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you do that?
No, I did not. I would like to add that...
Just a minute.
Okay, sorry.
Sure you did. Sure you did. That's exactly what you said to him. Don't give me a lot of baloney.
Can I please add something?
Add it.
Okay, I did not say that to him. I do feel that...
What did you say to him? I'm not interested in what you feel. What did you say to him?
Actually, from what I remember, there was a lot of goofing off. There was other people there. Jacob did run into a fellow who did want to fight him.
What do you remember about the picture?
What do I remember about the picture?
About the conversation about the picture.
There was no conversation about a picture. I feel that he's not a credible witness. I do have a restraining order against this gentleman.
You do?
Yes.
Can I see
right
it?
Here.
I also have notes that she wrote displaying her disgust for Audra. This is going to be a quote directly from Sarah. "I saw Audra at lunch, and if it weren't for my heavy bag and a cigarette, her ass would have been down." She continues to say about how upset she is, and then she says, "I don't really mind. It's not you that I care about and don't want to hurt, it's them."
Let me see the restraining order. Curious about this. He looks like butter would melt in his mouth, right? Why did you get an order of protection against him?
I was being stalked. There were times when he's tried to strangle me. coming to my house late at night. I felt very unsafe.
And you had a hearing on this, a trial?
Yes, I did.
Were you represented by an attorney at this trial?
He did not show up.
I was in Utah.
What were you doing in Utah?
I went on a road trip with my parents.
You mean you knew you had a court date and you didn't show up? That requires an answer, sir.
Yes, Your Honor.
That was pretty stupid. That was pretty stupid. How old are you?
18.
Did you tell your parents you had a court date?
Yeah, when we were in Utah.
Oh, the more I spend time here, the more I love my children.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I believe, no matter what you tell me, that you selected a picture of her different from the one that she had selected just to give her an old zinger.
And later today,
well, he didn't give us much of a chance really to get out of the way. He used his car as a battering ram.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy. 18-year-old Audra Sullivan Rice is suing her classmate and editor of their high school yearbook, Sarah Gardner, claiming Sarah deliberately selected an ugly photo for her senior portrait. Sarah claims it wasn't her job to pick the photos.
The picture of you in the yearbook isn't terrible. As a matter of fact, I think I like it a little bit better than the one you selected. I do, however, think that there was some design to get that picture in there. It just seems too coincidental to me that she's in charge of the yearbook, she can't stand you, you pick a picture and a different picture goes in there, right? And there's all just too much coincidence that doesn't sit comfortably with me. But if she picked the wrong picture, truth of the matter is, I think she picked a better one. So I don't think you should be that discouraged. Okay. And Miss Gardner, there's a certain thing about misusing your authority. If anything, you should have been far more careful about selecting her picture as making sure it was the right picture.
Right, but there was no specification.
Oh, yes, there was. You keep saying there was no specification, and I'm telling you.
There were a lot of seniors who did come to my attention that they did specifically pick a picture, and then they
look at
weren't
the back of the picture. Would you hands on the picture? I don't want them to touch each other. Right? What does that say back there?
Actually, I did not.
I didn't ask you what you see. I asked you what it said back there.
Yearbook selection.
Okay. Bottom line is, I believe, no matter what you tell me, that you selected a picture of her different from the one that she had selected just to give her an old zinger. The fact that you happen to have picked one that wasn't terrible and that I really think is much nicer is really not the issue. It's not, you're not damaged $3,500 worth, madam.
What I wanted to
You're not damaged $3,000 by this photograph. You're damaged maybe a lesson. So what's a lesson? Lesson is $100, Bird.
That's good.
$100 for the plaintiff, that's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
And now the next case.
Parties on Gorman versus Siemens. Step forward, please. Parties on Grant versus Grant. Step forward, please.
Account executive Robin Grant is in court with her two children, Marie 9 and Robin 11, suing their estranged father, Colden Grant. The kids claim he won't return the possessions they left behind after the divorce.
Order. All rise. Judge, this is number 273 on the calendar in the matter of Grant versus Grant. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Have a seat, ma'am.
Tell me your first name.
Robin.
And yours?
Maria.
How old are you, Robin?
11.
Maria?
9.
This is your dad. That's your mom.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to talk to both of you, because I've read your papers. I'm going to talk to you sort of privately a little bit later. Okay?
Okay.
So what I would like you to do for now is This is Officer Byrd.
Hello.
He's going to take you into my chambers for a minute to sit down and wait for me, because I want to talk to your mom and dad for a minute.
Okay.
All right?
Okay.
Is that fair?
Yeah. Yeah.
Good. Miss Grant, would you step up here, please? Mr. and Mrs. Grant, from what I gather from your papers, you were married in 1975.
Correct.
And these are your two girls.
Yes.
You're now divorced.
No.
Separated.
Oh, yes. Yes.
And you lived in New York most of your married life, is that right?
Yes. All of our married life was in New York.
When did you separate?
November of 1986.
No, 96.
I'm sorry, 96.
So you were married for 21 years before you separated.
Correct.
And I gather that this separation was not a happy one. They usually are not. But that you left New York, Mrs. Grant. Is that right?
I went to Hawaii. We resided in Hawaii.
Who resided in Hawaii?
Me and the children.
You left your husband?
Oh, yeah.
Why did you decide to move to Hawaii?
Well, I had family there, and I wanted distance. So
why did you want distance?
It was a horrible relationship. It became threatening on many levels, and I thought the further, the better.
How did you feel as if that impacted on the children?
It had to be negative and positive. It was positive because it took them out of a very harmful situation.
How harmful, Mrs. Grant?
Very harmful.
Was it a physically abusive relationship?
Oh, yeah.
You say, oh, yeah, you say that very mildly.
Yeah, I can say that now because I'm not in danger anymore. Yes, it was.
Was any of this violence in front of the children?
Yes.
Is that right, sir?
No, it's not true.
Well, if I asked your girls whether they ever saw you being physically abusive towards your wife, what do you think they would say?
They would say no.
Okay. Did you get permission from the court to leave the jurisdiction?
Oh, yeah.
I gave permission for the children to leave with her. No, it was my permission that did it.
Why, Mr. Grant, did you give permission for your wife to go so many thousands of miles away with your children?
For my children to go through this, I couldn't let them go through any more court litigation, so it was me that said, let her have full custody and let the children be with her.
Do you have other children, Mr. Grant?
No.
The reason that I'm asking to speak to you first before I speak to the girls is the girls want their things back. That's what this lawsuit is about. I don't know exactly what things they want, and I assume they're going to tell me. But it's always a very sad thing when children are brought into a domestic situation between their parents. There's a saying that always sticks in my mind, Mrs. Grant and Mr. Grant, and that is you're supposed to love your children more than you hate each other when you separate. Children usually need two parents.
They should do.
If they've estranged themselves for whatever reason, either because one parent encourages it or not, they usually grow up eventually resenting the parent that caused the estrangement, and that could be either one of you. So, Mrs. Grant, I'm going to ask you this question. Mm-hmm. Let us assume that it was a miserable relationship with your husband. Mm-hmm. You think it's a good idea that your children should have negative feelings about him?
They're free to have whatever feelings they want to.
Well, you're the custodial parent, Mrs. Grant. So really children are pretty pliable, you know, and they take their lead from whoever is taking care of them.
No, I'm not going to push the children either way. If they have negative feelings or negative thoughts, they can vent those. If they don't, they don't.
Okay. Well, what things do your daughters want from their father?
What they really want are the things from their bedroom, their baby pictures, videos, stamp collections, telescopes, microscopes, things of that nature.
Well, baby pictures and things, he says he wants to keep because he likes to have them. And I can understand that. You can make copies of those and send them to the girls, right?
Yes.
That's an easy. The other things are just things, microscope, stamp collection, those things. You have no problem with returning those to the girls, do you?
No, I have no problem.
But it's the pictures and the videos.
It's the pictures and the videos.
And that's also, in this age of technology, you can make copies,
duplicate.
keep one for yourself, and then see that the girls get their pictures and stuff so that they also can look at times when they were little and maybe you were all a family and living happily together. All right, I would like to speak to your children. So one of the two of you have a seat.
Judge Judy will continue in a moment.
I'm telling you that he loves you.
You're telling me.
I'm telling you that he
He's
loves you.
not. You're
Is it important for you to hear it from him?
No, because it's a lie.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Robin Grant is suing her ex-husband on behalf of their two children, Marie and Robin, because he won't return their belongings. Colden says he's being prohibited from seeing his children.
Hello, gorgeous girls.
Hello.
I understand you two are very bright. First of all, you're very tall
Yeah.
and very lovely.
Thank you.
So you know who I am, and I want to find out a little bit more about you. I've just had a talk with your mom and your dad. And it's always sad when parents get a divorce. Right?
Depending, I don't think it's that sad because they were arguing and everything. So it's not sad that they're not arguing anymore.
To me, it's just about happy.
It's about happy. Why is that?
I don't have to go through a bunch of arguing and screaming and stuff like that.
So there was a lot of that in your house. But my sense is that your mother loves you and your father loves you. You're their only children. What things do you want your dad to give you back?
Well, I want my baby pictures.
Okay, let me tell you what your dad said about your pictures and the videos and stuff. Your dad's going to make copies of all the things because he would like to have them too, to see his children. You're his two children. He doesn't have any other kids. He loves you. And then you have a stamp collection.
Yeah.
Whose stamp collection?
Both of ours.
And he's going to send that back to you.
That's good.
And the telescope, is that what you want?
Oh,
And your dad said he was going to send that back to you.
That's good.
Okay? So let's take care of that.
And our coin collection.
And your coin collection. Very valuable coin collection?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, my mom traveled like all over the world, and she got different like kinds of dollars from different places and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Well, is it your mom's coin collection or yours?
And she gave it to us.
Well, let me tell you this. It's really your mom's coin collection, if she was collecting it. There are certain things that are yours. There are certain things that may be a problem between your mother and your father. I don't want to get involved with that, and I don't think you ought to get involved with that. All right, so let's finish that. This is over. So let's talk honestly, the two of us, the three of us, two of you and one of me. You live very far away from your father.
Yep.
Yeah.
Did you two girls ever witness any time when either of your parents put their hands on each other?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You did?
Yep.
Tell me about it.
Well, once my dad tried twisting my mom's arm and stuff, so I stopped.
Yes. What else?
Well, sometimes they just like get tussling matches sometimes. Tussling matches sometimes.
The two of them?
Yeah. And Colton's always trying to like talk over her and and stuff like you're brainwashing them and stuff like that.
That happens. You know your mom loves you.
Yeah.
So does your father. I think you know that. I'm not so sure that you understand that. He really loves you. You question that?
Yeah.
He loves you.
Well, my true feelings are that I don't really want to be around him anymore.
Why?
The way he acts.
Like what? You have to tell me.
Okay. The way he acts is like ignorant.
How?
I can't explain it.
Let's say something to you. You know, the truth of the matter is, ladies, just amongst us three ladies, sometimes guys don't always do the right thing just because they're older. Sometimes parents don't do the right thing, mothers or fathers, even because they're parents. And you two gals are very smart. So in addition to being smart, you should be tolerant. Just because you're a parent doesn't make you perfect. Your father has disappointed you, right? Mm-hmm. You're supposed to not necessarily accept it and not necessarily understand it, but just say, he's my father. And I know he's made mistakes, but I'm telling you that he loves you.
You're telling me.
I'm telling you that he loves you.
He's not. You're telling me.
Is it important for you to hear it from him?
No, because it's a lie.
No, it's not. He loves you. He really loves you. Would you spend a little time with him today?
No.
Hmm?
No, I've been with him for 8 years, and that's enough for me. Mm-hmm.
Judge Judy will continue in a moment.
They did witness a lot of shouting, a lot of screaming, and a lot of mutual pushing. They're very angry with you, sir. Your children will not grow up as whole human beings if they do not have any contact with their father.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Robin Grant claims her ex-husband, Colden Grant, won't return their children's possessions. Colden says since Robin won't let him see his kids, he wants to keep the items.
Why don't you step back up, please?
May I ask her to view these, please?
Miss Grant.
Your Honor?
I am not condoning any act of domestic violence that may have occurred in your home. I will tell you from what I heard from the children, there was only one instance that your younger daughter told me about when your husband twisted your arm. While I'm not condoning that, we're not talking about an ongoing pattern of physical violence that the children witnessed. They did witness a lot of shouting, a lot of screaming, and a lot of mutual pushing, shoving. They're very angry with you, sir. Your girls are very angry with you. And Mrs. Grant, I'm going to make a couple of suggestions to you. In the short time that I had to speak with your daughters, they are so fixed, although your older daughter clearly is sad about it, at not having contact with their father, that I think it almost would border on the criminal if you did not see to it that your children were engaged in some sort of therapy. Because I believe it is a tremendous mistake for children to be estranged from a non-custodial parent the way these children have been estranged from their father. Terrible mistake. But it's a mistake for girls not to want to receive mail from their father, not to want to communicate with him at all. That says something to me about the custodial parent, Mrs. Grant, because I've seen enough children of separation and divorce where there is a lot more domestic violence that goes on, and those children still want to have contact with their father. These children, for some reason, do not, and they were not able to articulate to me any really valid reason for it. So I must attribute that to things that they've heard at home. I think it's a tremendous mistake. I think in the long run you will be hurting your children and hurting them dramatically if you don't change your attitude with regard to him. He's their father. You picked him. You were married to him for 21 years. You were together for 21 years. You made 2 children. These are the only 2 children that you have. And if he is less of a husband or less of a father than your children would like, that's it. I've tried to explain to them, he still loves them. They have to feel as if he still loves them. They don't feel that way, and they must be getting that from someplace other than him. So I think you're making a big mistake if you don't encourage your children in that direction and not say to me at age 9 that you're going to let her make up her own mind what she wants to do. Okay?
And I hope that Robin's anger stopped filtering over to the children. It's really her anger that have my children feeling this way.
Well, I don't doubt that, sir, because I've very rarely seen children so fixed with basically what I've heard in the back without the kind of history that would suggest that that they have a good and valid reason for it. The marriage is over, it's over.
Did Maria relate to you that whenever they want to speak to him that I allow them to call? They stopped calling because he kept lying to them?
Miss Grant, what I'm telling you is there's a difference between children asking to call their father and feeling that they are betraying their mother if they're asking to call their father because she's so angry. Just listen to me, Mrs. Grant. You're shaking your head no. I've been in this business for a quarter of a century. I've probably seen 10,000 separations and divorces. They're all not so different. And children feel that if they ask to communicate with the non-custodial parent, when there's so much anger on this side, that in some way they're being disloyal to their mother. So it's not a question of I let them call whenever they want to call. They have to be reinforced constantly with the idea that their father may have shortcomings, but he loves you.
Judge Judy is ready to rule.
Mr. Grant, you have promised me, sir, that you will return the children's things to them.
Yes.
That is their telescope, their stamp collection. I don't know about this coin collection that they spoke about. If you find it in your heart to return it to them, that's terrific. They certainly would like to have their pictures back, so you're going to make copies of all of those things and see to it that they get them. Return their things. It's stupid to have their things. Right?
Well, those are the only memories I have. I have no contact.
Okay.
So right now...
Well, but you know, you don't get warm from looking at a telescope, sir. No. So you have to return their things. It's important to them. So you can't be angry and also let that flow down to the children. It's a start. I don't know what will happen eventually, but Mrs. Grant, your children will not grow up as whole human beings if they do not have any contact with their father. By the time they're 20, 25 years old, it will be a void for them. And you should be protective of that. I think that you love them.
It's a void now.
Well, then you have to do something about it. You're their mother. You've moved them halfway across the world. So it's your responsibility to shorten that distance in whatever way you can, because they're going to have a void as adults. If they cannot accept the fact that good, bad, shortcomings, he's done things that disappoint them, this is their father, and if they don't feel as if he loves them, they're not going to grow up strong. That's all.
Party's excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy will continue in a moment. And on the next Judge...
Thomas versus Lewis. Step forward, please.
Los Angeles artist Jack Lane claims he was contracted to draw a caricature of 45-year-old Dan Tynan, but he never paid him for it.
Mr. Lane, you are an artist.
Yes, Your Honor.
According to your complaint, you were commissioned by the defendant to do a caricature of him.
Yes.
For a Rotary Club. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
And you did the caricature?
Yes.
Do you have it?
Yes, I do.
And you sent it to him, and he didn't pay you for it?
That's right, Your Honor.
Why?
Your Honor, he had sent me the caricature, or he had solicited me to draw a caricature for my demotion party.
Tell me what a demotion party is.
Demotion party is at the end of my presidency in my service club. We have a party at the end of the year. At that party, we usually get some form of gift. He had done this for other clubs, and he had solicited me saying, can I do this for your club? I said, come to my office. I made an appointment. He came to my office. And at that time, I showed him a caricature that I keep on my wall, Your Honor. And I instructed him that this is the caricature that I wanted, something like this with a couple of exceptions. The exceptions were to put my logo on the cap and to put something else in my hand other than a hot dog, like a hammer or a gavel or something. Then he proceeded to draw.
Well, did he do it in front of you, sir? Did he do the drawing while you were sitting in your office?
No, we went outside into the parking lot and he continued to draw. After he drew, he showed me the drawing, and it was nothing like this. It was something that he draws himself, more of a portrait than a caricature. I said that that is still not what I had drawn, that I had with the changes. He said he was going to go back, ink the difference or ink something, and that he would mail it to me.
Okay, so he went home and he drew this?
He went home, he drew that, sent it to me. That was not the cartoon.
Just a second. You sent it to him?
Yes.
When did you send it to him, sir?
I billed him and sent it to him 5/1.
May 1st?
Yes.
And you received it when, sir?
Somewhere mid-May.
Let's say you received it the beginning of the second week in May.
Very good.
What did you do with it?
Once I saw the caricature, I knew that I would not use it for my demotion party because it wasn't what I had commissioned or what I had asked for. When he sent the second billing request, I packaged it and mailed it back to him.
When did he send the second billing request?
July, I believe.
And your demotion party was in June?
In June, yeah, late June.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
You're going to pay this bill, sir, and I'm going to tell you why. Very simple. I would have complete sympathy for your position if when you received this in May, beginning of the second week in May, before your demotion party, you put it back in the envelope and you sent it back to this gentleman and you said, this is not what I bargained for. I'm not interested in it. If you want another opportunity to do what I did in fact commission, because this quite frankly is an adorable caricature, absolutely adorable, but it's not exactly what I want. It doesn't have a gavel in the hand and I don't like the logo, because those were the two things that you complained about.
Yes.
Right? So it would be very easy for him to put a gavel in your hand and to change the logo. You didn't give him an opportunity to do that. You didn't even have the common courtesy to respond to his first billing. You waited until July, 2 months later, and then you packed it up and sent it back to him. That's bad form. He just bought himself a caricature. Give it to him.
Your Honor.
Mr. Lane, you won.
Yeah.
$92.01 to the plaintiff. That's all. Thank you.
Then ask for brother name.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the
10 versus Lehman. Step forward, please.
28-year-old Portia Pendleton says her former friend, Jerry Lehman, asked if he could take topless photos of her on his Harley-Davidson in exchange for a modeling fee. Portia claims she did the topless photo shoot, but Jerry never paid her the money he promised.
Order. All rise. Quiet in the courtroom, please. All rise. Judges number 195 on the calendar in the matter of Pendleton versus Lehman. Parties have been sworn in. Judge, you may be seated. Have a seat, ma'am.
All right, Miss Pendleton, you say Mr. Lehman owes you $1,200 for something about a photo shoot, negatives, and a Harley motorcycle. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct, Your Honor.
I found it rather difficult to follow the flow of your complaint, so why don't you tell me about this photo shoot first?
Okay, well, basically, in June of 1996, Mr. Lehman approached me with a business opportunity. He told me that...
How did you know Mr. Lehman so that he could approach you?
Oh, he approached me at the bar and restaurant that I worked with. He'd been coming in there for approximately 2 years, and I've gotten to know him over that period of time. So in June, Mr. Lehman approached me. He stated that his motorcycle was going to be published in a magazine on the parts, the custom work he does on Harleys, and he needed a model to model with his motorcycle. He told me that the magazine that it was going to be published for was called Easy Rider. It was a biker magazine, and the pictures detailed, you know, bikini, and some of them were going to be topless. And, you know, I checked them out. They were a little cheesy, but not really bad. And I went ahead and I bought a copy of the magazine and the type of pictures that I was told I was going to be taken. At that point in time, I told Mr. Lehman I'd be interested in doing it. I was told that it would cost, I would be paid $1,200 if I did my own hair and makeup, and he would take the pictures.
So what you're saying is he said that he would pay you $1,200 to do the photo shoot?
Yes.
Totally incorrect.
So at that point in time, I went down to a shop probably in the middle of October, and we went ahead and took 2.5 rolls of film. I told Mr. Lehman that, one, I wanted the set closed because I didn't want a whole bunch of people, lagging about, around. And the second thing is that once we were done with the shoot, that I get the negatives and the pictures back of the pictures that he wasn't going to use, because I just didn't want them, floating all over the place. The only reason that I didn't get a contract with Mr. Lehman is because I've known him for 2 years. I considered him a friend, and I thought I could trust him. If I would have known that it would come to this point, I would have had him go through my agency to get me to take these pictures. I have my portfolio book here with the type of shots that I normally do.
Not interested.
Okay.
I assume from the fact that you have a portfolio, and you said something about your agency, that you are really a model and you work in this restaurant that you work in sort of to make money.
Part-time. Yeah,
Part-time.
Try to.
In between modeling jobs. Is that correct?
Yes.
When you have a modeling job, you do the shoot and you get paid.
You do get paid, but it's a billing process. The agent bills the client, and you get it within 30 days.
Right. Now you're not dealing with an agent.
Yes.
You're dealing with a friend.
Yes.
So you do the shoot. Did you say to him, give me my money?
No, I expected that it would take between 2 to 3 weeks after it was published.
Why after it was published? When you do a magazine or a photo shoot, you do it and they may publish it 6 months later. They may never publish it, but you get your money.
Well, because that's what Mr. Lehman had told me.
What did he tell you?
He told me that after I took the pictures, the magazine normally takes between 2 to 3 weeks to go ahead and pay. And that's what he was going to give the money for.
Something doesn't sound right there to me. You're not waiting for the magazine, Miss Pendleton, to publish your pictures. You don't give a rat's behind whether the magazine publishes your pictures or not.
No, that's true.
Right? You were doing the photo shoot for him.
Yeah.
Unless your arrangement with him was that you only got paid if the magazine bought the pictures.
Correct.
That's what he says in his answer. Is that right, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
But he was saying that he was going to wait and give you the money until after he received the pictures were published. That's what he told me.
You can look at me with those gorgeous brown eyes, all you like, Miss Pendleton, but I'm telling you, if you're in the business, you know that a magazine could say, I'm not publishing this picture, I don't like this lady, I don't like what she looks like, I don't want the bathing suit, I don't like her hair, I don't like her figure, I don't like her face, and I'm not going to publish the picture.
Yeah.
Right? So unless your agreement with Mr. Lehman was that you got paid if they selected your picture, your conversations with him about waiting until after the magazine was published doesn't make sense.
Okay, Your Honor, I would like to introduce a witness because Mr. Lehman had stated the conversation with another individual.
Oh, I will hear your witness. And your name?
Stacy Kirsten.
Who are you?
I used to work with Porsche at this bar and restaurant many months ago. And I met Jerry because he used to come in there once in a while, and he introduced himself to me with a business opportunity, which never really came to be, but he told me that he had done these pictures with her and that they were published, and he told me, quote unquote, he got a very good sum of money for the pictures.
Were the pictures ever published, sir?
No, ma'am.
So that you were just pulling this lady's leg?
I never told her that.
What'd you tell her?
I haven't never discussed Porsche's business with this woman. They are friends. I have met her. I have talked to her on occasions. I have never discussed any business with her at all.
Are you a photographer or a biker?
A biker, not a photographer. I met Porsche. She has done quite a few of these contests, bikini contests, different contests, and when I talked to her, she seemed to always be strapped for money. So I told her, this magazine right here, that if we took pictures and they accepted them, it pays $500, and it states it right in here. She gets $350, I get $150. I told her at that point, because we had an arrangement where I was building a motorcycle that I'd bought, and planned on selling it to her way before this even happened. I told her that if they went in, she could have my $150, keep the $500. She told me at that point, fine, why don't we just deduct it from the bike?
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
He made a comment that if she had slept with him, he would have given her the bike for free. God is my witness. He said that.
And later today,
He offered to pay you $12 for your cat.
$12.50, Your Honor. He tells me the cats are disposable.
I suppose he feels that same way about his dog.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Jerry Lehman says he took topless photos of his friend Portia Pendleton so they could enter the pictures in a contest. Portia says she was to be paid no matter what.
She took the pictures, sir.
Yes, we took the pictures.
All right, so let's move on with it.
But she never filled out the release form and the other requirements, so they could not be sent in.
Did you ever fill out release forms?
No, and the reason that was never done is because I had never agreed to do a contest, and this is a letter that Mr. Lehman wrote me, and he states that a photo of you holding the signed release form with your driver's license is required. Now, if he's stating that I went down there knowingly to enter this contest, why was that never done? Because we had never had that type of agreement.
Well, just a second. Why didn't you ever sign the release when she came into the photo shoot?
To be honest with you, I didn't think about it. I've never done it before.
Good question.
Thank you.
I had not gone through their requirements and read all their requirements. All I knew is I had a few friends that had their girlfriends in the magazine. They said, send it in. When I went through and read everything after we took the pictures, got in touch with her and said, okay, we need to do this.
And what happened?
We never got it done. I never did meet up with her.
What do you mean you never got it done?
I would only meet her where she worked.
So why didn't you bring it to where she worked?
She would only come in on certain days when she had a client. Lots of times I would go, she never showed up for work.
All right. Did you ever have a discussion with her about returning the negatives and all the other pictures to her?
No, ma'am.
Well, where are all the pictures and the negatives?
When I moved my facility in April, we cleaned out the office because I was moving into a small place. I threw everything away. It's 5 months after the fact. I didn't need it. I threw away a lot of my own stuff.
So you don't have them anymore?
No, ma'am.
You understand that if, in fact, any of these pictures surface, she now has the basis for a very substantial lawsuit against you. You understand that, based upon what you just said to me.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to rethink that? Where are the pictures and the negatives?
I can only tell you the truth. They've been in the dumpster since April.
You better hope nobody takes them out.
Your Honor, he had even made comments to me when I discussed a business proposition with him. He made a comment that if she had slept with him, he would have given her the bike for free. God is my witness. He said that. So, I mean, I think he has these pictures, and he did tell me they were published. He said
Just a second. Listen to me. If he told you at some time that the pictures were published and he made a lot of money, that's because he is a blowhard. Right?
It is true.
Okay. Now, let's talk about the $500 that you gave him for this bicycle.
Okay, because
Did you give him $500 as a down payment for the bike?
Yes, I gave him.
Good.
And he gave me the key.
Did she give you $500 for the bike?
She has never given me a penny in her life. And what they need is lie detector machines sitting right here on each table.
Show me the canceled check for the $500 that you gave him.
I didn't give him a check. I gave him cash, but he gave me the key to the motorcycle, and he told me that he would deliver the motorcycle in a couple of weeks because it was having mechanical problems.
Where did you get the $500 from?
From working.
So you keep all the money that you make in cash?
Some of it, yes, and then, when I do my modeling jobs, I have the checks and I deposit them into my account.
In a bank account? Mm-hmm. In a checking account, because that's where you keep the money that you receive, because you have to pay taxes on it, right? Mm-hmm. You write checks for your rent, right?
That's true.
You write checks for your telephone,
right?
Right?
That's correct.
You write checks for your credit cards, correct? Mm-hmm. I don't believe you. Kate, I believe him. I believe that what you just agreed to do was to do a contest. I don't believe that he agreed to pay you $1,200 even if the pictures weren't published. That's a lot of nonsense. He's not a photographer. He's a biker. And I don't believe that you gave him $500. So your case is dismissed.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Parties are excused. You may step out. Back go to your right.
For a bottle of booze, you're going to give somebody a key to a $3,500 Harley Davidson, especially, you know, somebody that you're not in any type of relationship
Key don't do
for.
any good without the motorcycle.
And now the next case.
Parties on Malcolm versus Tripp. Step forward, please. Parties on Thompson versus Thompson. Step forward, please.
41-year-old ironworker Charlie Ray Thompson is suing his nephew Lorenzo Thompson, 28, for thousands of dollars he said he loaned him.
Order. All rise. Quiet in the courtroom, please. All rise. Now, this is case number 202 on the calendar in the matter of Thompson versus Thompson. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated.
This is your nephew.
Yes,
Say you lent him some money
$5,000.
over a period of time.
Possibly a year, yes.
So I have a couple of questions for you, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
This is your father's brother, correct?
No, my stepfather's brother.
Stepfather's brother.
He raised him since he was possibly 6 years old.
So he's not related to you by blood,
No, he's not.
but he considers you his nephew.
I treated him like...
Somewhat.
And you felt close enough to him to go to him when you needed some money.
No, I did not. Because I didn't get no money from this guy.
You didn't?
No, I did not.
Well, why do you think he's here?
Well, see, he lent some money to a friend.
You mean your friend Nina?
Yes.
Now, I read about your friend Nina. He says that you called him and said that you needed money because your wife wanted to go home or had to go home to England with the children to see somebody in her family.
Mm-hmm.
Does any of that have a ring of truth to it, sir?
Not at all.
Do you
Not
have
at
a
all.
wife?
Yes, I have a wife.
What's her name?
Her name's Nina.
You have a wife whose name is Nina. Do you also have a friend whose name is Nina?
Yes, I do.
Do you have children, sir?
Yes, I do.
With which Nina do you have children?
My wife, Nina.
Where does your wife Nina come from?
Where does she come from?
That was my question. You have
Virginia.
an answer. I asked the questions, you have an answer.
From Virginia.
From
Blacksburg,
Virginia. And your other friend Nina, where does she come from?
Where does she come from? We met her at a bar.
What?
I heard you.
We met her at a bar.
Who had to go to England?
Who had to go to England? Nobody. Nobody did not have to go to England.
Sir, did your nephew call you and ask you to lend somebody by the name of Nina money?
No, he didn't mention Nina.
What did he say? Did he say his wife?
His wife, so his kids can visit their grandmother in England. Prior to that, Your Honor, I love my nephew, and I always let him know that he needs something, he can come to me. Prior to that, I lent him $1,000.
Tell me about the $1,000.
Well, he had just got laid off from his job, and he claims to have a 401k coming to him. And
not true,
that
Your Honor.
was
That
a
is
whole...
not true.
Just be quiet.
That's not true.
Just be quiet. For somebody who has so many Ninas, you better be quiet. So just behave yourself.
So that was the reason where the money was going to come from that he paid me. And so then he comes and he said, my wife got a... will I send my wife on a trip if my money ain't coming next week? Well, he got $1,000, so I say, well, look, I'll put it all on a credit card. You know, I say, I'll just call up the British Imports and sent the tickets right to his house.
And did you do that, sir?
I did that.
Do you have proof of that to show me?
Yes.
Can I see it, please?
Mm-hmm.
How old are you?
Me, I'm 28 years of age.
Does your wife Nina know that you have a friend Nina?
Yes, she do.
Who went to England?
I had the slightest idea.
Do you know that I'm like a truth machine? Somebody lies to me.
Okay.
I feel it right back here, and I start to get a twitch in this eye. Sir, I've been twitching since you opened your mouth. Because this man isn't lying to me. Now, there may be some other nuances to the story.
See, but the thing about it, Your Honor,
but what you're telling me is, I don't know what he's talking about. I never borrowed $1,000 from him. I don't know what he's talking about British Airways and tickets. Like, there's really something wrong with him.
I did not borrow the money from him. I did not borrow the money from him. What happened was, actually, let me explain my side of the story. Okay? There was a friend that I came to him, said that she needed to borrow some money. I didn't know he lent her that money. So he went ahead and lent her a lot of money.
What did you go to him for and even tell him this story?
Why did I go to him? Because at the time we were working out together. We were training. And I knew that his financial, way when he was working and everything, that he was capable of lending it to her. So I just asked him.
Why would you ask your uncle to lend somebody who's just a friend of yours almost $3,000?
I didn't ask her. I didn't say he. I guess she asked him.
You know something? The truth of the matter is, your lying irritates me a lot.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
So what you're telling me, Mr. Thompson, is that your uncle over here is making up this whole story about you owing him this money.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
And later today,
I give laughter with a message. I'm Brother Dre. Those who know me know that I give world-class service.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Charlie Ray Thompson wanted to help his nephew, Lorenzo Thompson, by loaning him money. Now he wants his money back.
It sounds to me as if your uncle, who's a nice man, helped you out when you, according to him, got laid off from your job and came to him and asked you for money.
I never was laid off, Your Honor.
Did you tell him that you needed money?
No, I did not, Your Honor.
So you're telling me he's lying when he said he gave you $1,000?
Yes, he is, Your Honor.
He is?
Yes, he is.
You have proof that you gave him $1,000?
No, not the first 1,000, Your Honor. In fact, that's why he kind of had me over the barrel. The British imports were putting it all on a credit card. And I mentioned to him, as long as he pays the notes, everything was okay. And because I don't know anybody from England or British, and that's the only proof I have, is that it was on this credit card. I have personally 9 credit cards, you know, that I use. I didn't touch that card. That was his. And I did balance transfer to lower the interest rates because of lower initial interest rates for him.
Well, Your Honor, he tricked me into getting a credit card under his name so he can transfer all that money to my account under my name, which was going to mess up my credit.
That's too bad.
Yeah.
You got one too many Ninas, sir.
Yeah, and I kept both cards, which I have right here. Both we got co-signed for a credit card.
Now, I believe you, sir. How much is built up on this credit card now for this?
$5,136. It was. This is the old card. Now, he came to me, his wife pregnant.
His wife, Nina.
His wife, Nina, gonna have a baby. He just started a new job. His insurance won't cover him on his new job, and the county won't let him get on the county because they claim he got a job. So he needed $2,000. He swore he'll pay me $200 to $500 a week. I knew that he couldn't with 3-4 kids, but I say, as long as he paid that monthly note, it'll be okay.
That is not true.
So how much money did you give him when his wife was pregnant?
Two more thousand. $2 more cash advance on that last paper right there. That brought the total up to $516. But on that very same day, we filled out for Make America, because I figured now it's time for your name to be on it. So that very same day, we got credit cards. I co-signed for him. I'm the original. I keep both cards. He wanted it, but I wouldn't give it to him. On that very same day, as I took out a cash advance on that credit card, we got credit cards, and we transferred the money to our credit cards.
Well, it got all very complicated.
Okay,
sir.
no.
Did you have a new baby?
Yes, I did, Your Honor.
And you didn't need any money for the new baby?
No, I did not, Your Honor.
You had all the money in the world to pay for it?
Yes, sir. I didn't have all the money in the world, Your Honor.
What kind of work do you do, sir?
I'm a certified trainer and also a sales rep at Home Base.
What's Home Base?
Home Base is like a do-it-yourself hardware store.
Mm-hmm. So what you're telling me, Mr. Thompson, is that your uncle over here is making up this whole story about you owing him this money.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
Mm-hmm. So it comes down to a question of credibility, who I believe, because certainly what he's got here is over the limit of this court, which is $5,000. It's almost $3,000 for just these airline tickets and another $2,000 for the baby, plus another one that he says you lent him right from the beginning, and you say you borrowed nothing. Is that what you're
No,
saying?
I did not borrow anything.
Actually, Your Honor, he paid me one of them. When it was $3,000, he gave me one. It was about Christmas time.
How much did he give you?
$1,000, but $1,200. I paid $200 on the card, and around Christmas time, I gave him the $1,000 back because it was Christmas, and because.
So you gave it to him as a gift?
No, I lent him another $1,000 around Christmas time. I lent it back to him because I felt bad. It was Christmas time. So it really is $516, but in order to transfer, we couldn't transfer but $5,000. I had to pay the $136, a $47 finance charge.
Mr. Thompson, let me give you some very good advice, sir. Never lend money to relatives.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And later today,
my time is money, and I felt that he hindered my time. I could have been doing other things.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
If you have to lend money to relatives, even if it's difficult, always say to them, listen, I know we're relatives and we love each other, but in order for there not to be any problems in the future, let's just memorialize our agreement with a writing that we both sign. Do you understand, sir?
I understand that now.
Do you understand? I want you to remember that in the future. I know that when people are dealing with brothers and sisters and nephews and nieces, they find it very difficult to do that because they feel as if they should trust each other.
Well, yeah, I figure he'll pay the notes. $123 monthly notes, but he stopped.
You don't mean the
that.
notes, you mean the monthly payments.
The monthly until he got his lump sum from his 401k, and he stopped paying when it got to $5,000.
All right, Mr. Thompson, take my advice, sir. Take it to heart. Judgment in this case is for the plaintiff in the amount of $5,000. Tell the truth, sir. It's important.
All right, sir, excuse me. Step out. Back door to your right. The party's on Gigliotti versus Kemp. Step forward, please.
50-year-old attorney Jerome Gigliotti says Monica Kemp slashed his tires and keyed his car in the post office parking lot.
Order. All rise. Quiet in the courtroom, please. Quiet in the courtroom, ma'am. Judge, this is case number 290 on the calendar in the matter of Gigliotti versus Kemp. Parties have been sworn in, Your Honor. You may be seated. Have a seat, ma'am.
Mr. Gigliotti, you were going to the post office.
Yes, Your Honor.
You were driving.
Yes, Your Honor.
According to your complaint, you got to the post office and looking for a place to park, and all the parking spots were taken.
It was about 10:40 in the morning. I drove into the parking lot. I noticed there was no spaces available. I looked over the parking space for the handicapped, and there was a car there, and I noticed that it had Louisiana license plates that were not handicap provided. I also looked at the front mirror to see if there was a placard there.
So you got out of your car?
Yes, I did. And then I went back to my car and took out a Polaroid camera, and I took a picture of the car and my car as it was seated in the parking space for the handicapped, and then I wrote down the license plate number. And I also noticed when I was around front that it had a Navy parking sticker on it. So I copied down the number of that also.
Okay. So far, what you were doing is you were outraged that somebody parked in the handicapped parking spot.
Exactly, Your Honor.
Okay, so then what did you do?
Well, as I was writing down the license plate number from the car that was parked there, it was a black Plymouth, a woman came out of the post office, and she started yelling and screaming and waving her arms. She was waving her arms like this. And she said, you move that car, I'll move you.
What do you mean? I don't understand. Why did you have to move your car?
I had pulled in behind the car that was in the parking space in order to get out of the driveway, because the driveway was right next to that parking space. I pulled in behind it.
So you blocked the car?
Yes.
Now, when you looked inside the car, did you see anybody in the car?
I didn't notice anybody at that time, Your Honor.
Okay, so you had now blocked the car, and the woman came out and said, you better move the car.
Yes.
What did you do?
She was yelling and screaming, and I was absolutely certain that she was going to cause some violence. So I walked away from her and walked into the post office and called the police.
Why didn't you just get into your car and move your car?
I didn't think I had that much time. She was coming at me rather fast, rather loud.
Order.
Yeah, go ahead.
And while I was waiting in the post office, Miss Corbett, who was going to be the witness, came in and said, "Is that your car with the handicap placard in the parking lot?" And I said, "Yes, it was." And she said, "That woman just keyed your car." And I went out to the parking lot to see if I could see where she had keyed the car, but she was still walking up and down between the two cars, yelling and screaming and throwing her arms around. So I didn't go out there. I just waited until the police came. And when the police came, I did go out and I inspected the car, and it had been keyed, the entire driver's side.
Okay. You do have handicap plates on your car?
I do.
Why is that, sir?
Because I have a back injury that limits my ability to walk.
How long have you had that back injury?
2.5 years.
And how long have you had the handicap plates?
About 1.5 years.
Mm-hmm. Step up, please.
Yes.
Can you tell me your name?
Yes, I'm Janice Corbett.
Miss Corbett, I assume you work in the post office. You're the postal worker.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you see this lady key his car?
I saw this lady do a keying motion to his car.
Describe what you saw.
I saw her talking with another woman and some children, and she had her keys in her hand. She was frustrated. Then she went to the side of his car, and her arm turned. I could not actually see the key in her hand at this moment, but her arm was turned so I could see this part, and she walked stiff-armed alongside the car.
Okay. Ms. Kemp?
Yes.
According to your complaint, and you have a countersuit against the plaintiff for unlawful imprisonment of both you and your children, who you say were in the car.
Yes.
How many children did you have in the car?
3.
How old are they?
At the time, the twins were 4 months old, and Nicholas was 5 years old.
Okay. What were you doing at the post office?
I went to the post office that morning to mail a few letters and to purchase stamps. I did pull in to a handicapped spot. Yes, I know that was wrong, but thinking that I would be in there 2 to 3 minutes, I knew I would be right back out. I just didn't think there would be a problem. So, and I was in a hurry because I went there before I brought Nicholas to school. So we went into the post office, my kids and I did what I had to do. I stopped at the front counter to make out some things on the...
How are you holding the twins?
They were in a stroller.
So you actually took them out of the car and put the twins in the stroller?
Yes.
And Nicholas was with you?
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Okay. And we went into the post office. Like I said, on the way out, I stopped at the desk to put the stamps on and all. So I did that. We went back to the car. He said I was waving my arms. I didn't even recognize him because I was in such a hurry to get Nicholas to school. But I got in the car. As I looked back to see if my pathway was clear, then I realized he was parked behind me. So that parking lot is really small. So I thought maybe he was just trying to maneuver his way out of it. He didn't move. So I just sat there and waited a second because I didn't really know what he was doing. So he didn't move. I saw him come out of his trunk with a camera. So he started to take pictures. And so I didn't think anything. And then I looked up and there was his handicap. I said, okay, I know what he's doing and I know what I did. So I got out. And I was not enraged because I knew I was wrong. I became upset when he said he was not going to move. So I waited until he was done with it because I thought that would be the end of it. He's taking pictures. This is his evidence. They'll give me a ticket. That was not the end of it. So he went into the front part of his car to do what I don't know. So that's when I took a step to the back of my car and I asked him, would he then move? He said there was no way in hell he was going to move, and he was the person that was yelling. I was not yet upset because I wasn't quite sure what his intentions were yet.
Judge Judy will continue in a moment.
When she came out, she was so violent that I was absolutely certain it was going to get into fisticuffs.
I don't believe you, sir. I don't believe you.
She's got 30 years and 30 pounds on me.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Jerome Gigliotti says Monica Kemp slashed his tires and keyed his car in the post office parking lot. Monica says Jerome blocked her car so she couldn't pull out, leaving her and her children trapped.
You knew you had done something wrong.
Right.
But you knew that what he was doing, that he was gathering evidence so that he could present it to give you a ticket.
After a while.
Okay.
And he told me there was no way in hell he was going to move. I then started to tell him that, you know, I had to get Nicholas to school. I informed him that I did not have any more formula for my kids because I didn't bring any because I was intending a quick trip to the post office and to school.
I assume you were pretty hot at this point, Ms. Kemp. I assume you were.
I was not angry yet because I thought once I told him that, he would move. And I offered him other information of mine. I told him he could have my driver's license number. I did notice when he came to the front of the car, he was copying down my military information. I asked him, didn't he have enough information? He was ignoring me. When I offered more information, he ignored me. And at this point, when he started to walk off, I was like, I don't believe this. You are going to let us out, aren't you? And he just walked off. And so there was another woman who came up and she just started to ask me what was the problem and are you okay, because by this point I had become extremely emotional because it's like, okay, this man is not going to move and my kids are in the car and it's hot and they were starting to cry and I was just really upset. I was scared. So she tried to calm me down. She went in the post office and she asked him to move. And
did somebody else come into the post office and ask you to move, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Why didn't you?
I told her I wasn't going to go out there so long as that other woman, Miss Kemp, was out there.
All they wanted you to do was move the car.
You
Sir.
did not see the condition that she was. She was yelling and screaming, waving her arms, and there was no way I was going to get into a fight with her.
what was I going to do, throw a baby
second.
at you?
Just a second.
I had a baby in
Just
my
a
arm.
You know that all she wanted you to do was to move your car. She wasn't going to get into a fight with you because if she got into a fight with you, she couldn't get her kids in her car out. Come on, sir. Let's be honest with each other. You were very angry that someone had parked in the handicapped spot that was really reserved for you. Now, I can understand that. I can really understand that. There's nothing to suggest that you did anything wrong in taking down the license plate number, copying down the Navy information, taking a photograph of her parking in that spot. I'm telling you now, I do have a problem with you blocking her car, especially when you knew that there were children with her, twins, under 6 months old, and her son. I do. I mean, you came into court today, not in a wheelchair, sir. You didn't come in a wheelchair and you didn't come in a stretcher. So I don't know how come it is that you got a handicap parking placard. I have difficulty walking too sometimes. Nobody's going to give me a handicap parking placard. Right? Even a bird here sometimes gets tired, right, Bird? So, can't get a holier-than-thou approach to life, sir, and look at everything reasonably. I mean, this is a situation that was a fast-paced situation, but try to have a little understanding. She was prepared to get a ticket. You could have seen to it that she got a ticket. But you went a little overboard. Now, that doesn't excuse the fact that you keyed his car.
I did not key his car.
Somebody keyed his car. Let me see the pictures of your car. Come on, Miss Kemp. So far, you've been very honest with me. So far, I believe you've been very honest with me.
I have been.
That's right. Let's see, Roxas. Yeah. And aside from the scratch marks on your car, you also had a blown tire, is that right?
No, Your Honor, it wasn't blown, it was slashed. I have a cast of the tire here that shows it's a very neat cut. And when I took it into the tire repair place, they said they couldn't patch it and that it had gone about 1/2 inch into the tire. And it's a very narrow cut, so you can see there was a cut and there wasn't road damage.
If it was cut, you must have cut it, because I didn't.
Let me take a look at that, please. Well, it's kind of hard to slash a tire with a key.
May I say something?
Sure.
I would like to know if his tire was slashed, how did he back out to let me out? How did he get out?
I just said to you, I don't think he can establish through any witness that he has today that you did anything to the tire of his car. That's not what this witness said. Miss Kemp, look at me, dear.
I'm looking.
Keying his car. Saying, Miss Kemp, I'm not suggesting to you that the situation didn't enrage you. You had a right to be enraged.
I know.
I believe you had a right to be enraged. What you did was a violation. Sir, what she was engaged in was a violation. I find it disingenuous on your part to suggest that you feared for your life, and when you called the police, you said that a woman had just assaulted you, because that's what you wrote in your complaint. This woman never assaulted you. If she came out swinging her arms and being very agitated because her car was blocked, that is not an assault.
Judge Judy will continue in a moment.
What kind of work do you do?
I'm an attorney, Your Honor.
You must have a very slow practice.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Jerome Gigliotti says Monica Kemp did damage to his car at the post office. Monica denies she did anything wrong and says Jerome overreacted by blocking her car for 2 hours.
Let me explain something to you, sir.
You need help.
What you found was a violation. No different from finding somebody parked in front of a fire hydrant. Same kind of violation. The action that you took was not in direct proportion to the violation that you observed. Once, sir, you observed this lady and her children. She had 3 little kids. Wisdom would have been the better part of your action, and if you would have said, I now have the proof to take to the police, this is her car, this is this, she is going to get a ticket for parking in a handicapped spot, which was clearly wrong, you and I would have had no problem. And if she vandalized your car, which I believe that you did, Ms. Kemp.
I see that, but I didn't.
Yes, you did. Your action was not responsive to what you saw, sir. You did not exercise good, mature judgment. Good, mature judgment would have meant once you saw what she had in the car, which was 3 small children, you pulled the car out, let her leave, report it to the police, go to the Army barracks, do whatever you wanted to do in order to see to it that she had to pay an appropriate fine. It would have aggravated her enough to have paid a fine. What you chose to do was to create and incite a situation by blocking her car. That was dumb, stupid, and I guarantee you, if she had been 6'4" and a man walking out of that post office, you would not have blocked the car. No question in my mind you would not have blocked that car. So,
Your Honor,
I have
I
a loss.
I didn't intend to block her car.
Well, you
I intended to take down the information.
You did.
When she came out, she was so violent that I was absolutely certain it was going to get into fisticuffs.
I don't believe you, sir. I don't believe you.
30 years and 30 pounds on me.
I don't believe you, sir.
30
all you had
years,
to do,
you wish.
all you had to do was
Look
get
like my
in your
great-grandfather.
car. You had already taken the pictures. Get in your car and leave. And she, with her 3 small children, was not going to assault you. And you will never convince me otherwise, sir. Never. So, you have a lawsuit, and you are suing her for $5,000 for illegally parking in a handicapped space.
Your Honor, I later found out that she lives 1 block from the post office.
And?
Just a second.
She could have walked home if she wanted to. It's 1 block away.
And you could
Sir,
have
Shay,
moved.
please don't respond to him.
You're right, I shouldn't.
Please don't respond to him. First of all, how did you find out she lives a block away from the post office?
I took the license plate down and I used the DMV in New Orleans, in Louisiana and Baton Rouge to find the registered owner. And then through the Postal Service, I obtained a forwarding address from that address to the address in San Diego.
Do you work?
Yes.
What kind of work do you do?
I'm an attorney, Your Honor.
You must have a very slow practice.
Yes. That's what I think.
Because if you took the time over this nonsense that you have just told me about, you'd be far better to donate some of your time and some of your energy, sir, to the poor. I was sympathetic to you up to a point. There isn't a soul who drives a car that isn't infuriated when they are driving around and around and around and looking for a parking space and see somebody who has abused their parking privilege and parked in a handicapped spot. Not a soul who's driven a car who hasn't had that kind of frustration. You took it a step too far. And she has a cross complaint against you for $5,000 for unlawful imprisonment for a period of well over 20 minutes. Is that what it was?
No.
How long?
It was like 3 hours.
Until, from the time he blocked your car until the time the police came, how much time elapsed?
From the time he blocked me until the time the first set of police arrived?
How many sets of police arrived?
They had to call someone else to make him move because he, and that's on my cross complaint also, about the intentional infliction of emotional distress. This is when my son became emotional because he would still not move. They had to call someone else to make him move.
Why wouldn't you move when the
he
first set
wanted me arrested?
Why wouldn't you move when the first set of police came?
The first set of police never asked me to move my car.
I heard him.
Well, you were no longer in fear.
That's true.
Just a second. You were no longer in fear, sir, because you now had police officers around. Why didn't you just move your car?
Because they didn't tell me to. All they wanted to do was talk to me.
He's lying.
Judge Judy is ready to rule.
I believe you keyed his car. Right? Let him fix it. I believe that your children suffered during that period of time. And I assume you'll never park in a parking space again.
I haven't even been back to that place.
Never. Your complaint is dismissed, and your countersuit is dismissed.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy will continue in a moment. And on the next...
Forward, please.
And now the next case.
Parties on Gendron versus Gendron. Step forward, please. Versus McDermott. Step forward, please.
21-year-old sound engineer Dean Johnson is suing his former girlfriend, Nicole McDermott. He says he loaned her money to fix her damaged car and was never repaid.
Order. All rise. Quiet in the courtroom, please. All rise. Sheesh. Judge, this is case number 283 on the calendar in the matter of Johnson versus McDermott.
Thank you, sir.
Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Have a seat, please.
Mr. Johnson, according to your complaint, sir, you and the defendant were dating briefly. She had an accident in the car she was driving. Is the car your car?
It was my parents' car.
What kind of car was it?
It was a Mazda 66.
New?
No, it was an 83.
You got into an accident with the car. According to you, Mr. Johnson, the defendant came to you and she was very upset.
Yep, scared of her dad's reaction, didn't know what she'd do. And I said, I know someone who can fix her car. Brought it over there and got it fixed. And while she said that she didn't have the money, I said, I could let you borrow the money. She said, sure, that'd be great. Well, at first she denied it. She's like, no, don't do that for me. Please don't do that. I was like, all right, well, just if you need the money, and when you start your job, you can start paying me back. She's like, all right, because she was scared of what her dad was going to do. Got her car fixed. 2 days later after that, she split on me in so many words, like our relationship ended. And for about 1.5 years, I tried getting in contact with her maybe like 10 times in a total of 1.5 years, and I never got a response back to her.
Mr. Johnson, let's go back a little bit because you sort of fluffed over this oral contract that you had with her that you're suing on, sir. She came to your house and she said she was very upset.
Well, she was crying and stuff. She didn't know what she was going to do.
So far, he's correct.
She did not know what she was going to do.
So far, he's correct.
She's correct to the point where he just said that he said he'd lend me the money, and he never said that. He told me that he had a friend that owed him favors and that he would get it fixed. And I said...
Yeah, for cheaper.
Just
no, you never
don't
said that.
interrupt. Go ahead.
And so I was like, I was really scared. I was in shock. I just got in an accident. And I said, no, because I don't have money to get it fixed. I'm just going to have to tell my dad. And then he didn't want me to get in trouble. So he said, no, no, we'll get it fixed. So we took it to the shop, got it fixed.
When you took it to the shop, was there any discussion about $600?
Not until he was going to get it fixed, and then the guy said it'll be $600.
So there was discussion about $600?
Yes.
So.
And then Dino, I looked at Dino and he said, no, they're going to take care of it. Because he said the guy owed him a lot of favors.
That's not true.
But then it didn't hit me until we were on our way home, and I asked him who's going to pay for it. And he said, I will. And I said, no, I don't want you to pay for it. Take it out of the shop. And he didn't. And
so you said to him, take it out of the shop?
Yeah, I asked him to call them.
And he said what?
He said, no, don't worry about it. They'll take care of it.
So you didn't say to him, take me right back to the shop and let's get it out of the shop?
I asked him to. I said, take me over there or call them. And he didn't.
But then there came a time when you went back and picked up this car.
Mm-hmm.
Is that right?
Yes.
A fixed car?
Yes.
Did you pay for the car, sir?
Yes, I did. $600. She was there.
Let me see proof of that.
She told me that when she was able to get a job, she would pay me back. I said, little payments are fine, whenever. And she was like, okay, I'm going to pay you back, even when we were like breaking up or whatever we had together.
Who signed for this?
I did.
Mm-hmm.
I've taken many cars to Miguel.
Miguel, that's the name of this person?
Mm-hmm. Miguel's Auto Body Shop.
Good. Let me make a call.
Mm-hmm.
Is this Miguel? Miguel, this is Judge Judy Scheindlin. Do you know who I am? Well, I'm a judge who is hearing a case that has something to do with your auto body shop. And I have a couple of questions to ask you. Do you have a moment for me? Good. Do you know someone by the name of Dino Johnson? Yes. He says he's brought many customers to your shop. And this has to do with a car that was brought to you, a 1983 Mazda in 1995. He says he came in with a young woman who had been in an accident with her car. Yes? Well, could you tell me what you remember about that, sir? Right, so 2 or 3 weeks ago he came in and he asked you for a bill. Right, because I'm looking at this bill and it doesn't look as if it's a couple of years old. It looks like it's a relatively new bill. And it says here, sir, there's something that's circled and it said that you were paid in cash. So how did you know it was $600? It's not an answer, Miguel. Okay, Miguel, you've been very cooperative. Thank you very much, sir. Bye-bye.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
He said, well, I don't think my husband would have murdered his daughter. And I said, I would have been able to handle that.
And later today.
You know, you got to remember what you write down, Mr. Barth.
Gotcha.
Always comes back to bite you in the behind.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Dean Johnson is suing his former girlfriend Nicole McDermott because he gave her money to fix her car and she never repaid him. Nicole says Dean is angry because she broke up with him and started dating his friend.
Now, Mr. Johnson, one of the reasons I went to make a phone call is this didn't look like something you had had around for 2.5 years.
Mm.
So Miguel seemed to know all about this lawsuit.
Mm-hmm.
I figured maybe he has no business because 2.5 years go by. Boy, he remembered everything, like she was your girlfriend and then broke up with you, and he knew the whole story. That led me to believe that you had been there more recently.
Yeah, because my mechanic is right next door.
No, because you needed a new bill.
Yeah, and I got a new bill, and she was there when I paid for it.
Now, just a second. You got a new bill. You got a new bill. This he gave you a couple of weeks ago. Mm-hmm. This was not the original bill. Mm-hmm. He has no invoice with regard to it because I asked him how come. He remembered that it was $600. He said, well, he remembers that it was $600. He had no invoice because he wrote paid cash, which means that he didn't write it down anywhere else.
Exactly.
Well, I have no doubt that $600 was in fact paid because according to Miguel, who I believe, who was very honest with me on the phone, He said that the original estimate was much more, about $850, but because he was referred by a friend and had done a lot of work there, he said he would do it for less. I have another couple of questions for you, Miss McDermott. You say you rear-ended this car and you had hundreds of dollars worth of damage on your car.
Mm-hmm.
What happened to the other car?
The other car, it was a Ford Explorer. There was only a small scratch, and it was a rental car, so they didn't care.
So he didn't care?
No, so nothing happened to it.
Did you ultimately tell your father about this?
Yes, I did.
When?
I told him approximately, he found out, and then I told him about 2 months after it happened.
Are you working?
Yes.
You have to pay for this. It's reasonable, right? He was being a nice guy.
See, he told me I didn't have to worry about paying him back. And he even told my mother that on the telephone, that I don't have to worry about it. And she asked him, what happens if she breaks up with you? And
oh, well, let me, just don't tell me. Let her tell me. You're her mother.
Yes.
Your last name is?
McDermott.
Yes.
I learned about the accident approximately 2 days after the accident. The car was already in the shop. It was almost repaired, and they were ready to pick it up. I had spoke to Dino about it. I said, Dino, we don't have the money to pay you for the car. My husband, one of the reasons why we hadn't told my husband, he had had 7 surgeries in the last 4 years. He was having a very hard time with his health, and I didn't want to tell him. I kept things from him because I didn't want to disturb his health anymore.
Good idea.
But I told Dino, I said, Dino, why did you fix her car? I says, why didn't you call me? I told Nikki, why didn't you call me? I'm your parent. It's up to me to decide what's going to happen. He says, well, she couldn't have driven it that way and her father would have gotten really mad. I says, well, he said her father would have killed her. I says, well, I don't think my husband would have murdered his daughter. And I said, I would have been able to handle that. I said, she would have either, one, had to have driven the car like it was, if it was drivable. I never saw it. I said, or found alternate transportation.
Mm-hmm.
He says, don't worry about it. She doesn't have to pay me back. And it was like a done
she
deal.
didn't have to pay me back right away.
It wasn't,
as soon as she got a job, because she wasn't working at the time. I said, even $20, $10 here and there.
Miss McDermott, listen to me. You have to teach your daughter responsibility. How old is she?
She'll be 20.
And so this happened 2.5 years ago, so she wasn't quite 18, correct?
Right.
Well, then you have to teach her responsibility. I can understand that. 17 years old, still a baby. They do a lot of stupid things. But she was in an accident with the car. And if you're in an accident, you have to bear responsibility for taking care of it. I can understand her boyfriend at that time saying, listen, don't worry about it. You're not working. You know, I don't want you to get in trouble with your father. I will help you out. But then within a relatively short period of time, they weren't a couple anymore. Don't you think it's the responsible thing for your daughter to do? To pay her debts? Don't you think so? Sure it is. Now, but you have another problem, Mr. Johnson.
Judge Judy will continue in a moment. And later today...
My grandmother used to say, beauty fades, dumb is forever.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Dean Johnson says his former girlfriend, Nicole McDermott, borrowed money to fix her car and never paid him back. Nicole claims the money was a gift.
You have another problem, Mr. Johnson. How old are you, sir?
21.
So you were over 18 when you made this arrangement with Miss McDermott.
Yes.
And she was under 18.
Mm-hmm.
Is that right?
I believe so. I wasn't exactly sure of her age.
How old were you?
I think she just turned 18.
I just turned 18.
You did just turn 18. Are you lucky? Because if she were under 18, she couldn't make a contract with you, even a verbal one. You understand that?
I do now.
She can't be bound by it. She can't be sued on it. But if she were over 18, then she has reached her majority. Miss McDermott, you have to take care of your bills. You drive a car, there are expenses. You have an accident, you have to pay for them.
That's why I didn't want him to fix my car.
But he fixed it, madam. And you're over 18, and you were sitting in the car, and nobody said you had to leave the car there. It was drivable. You could have said, forget it. I don't have the money. I'm going to deal with my father. You didn't do that. Don't take advantage of a situation. How much after this did you two break up?
It was about a week.
About a week?
Maybe even less than that.
That's a very expensive week.
He didn't even want the money back.
All right. Miss McDermott, you can't get along on your good looks forever, madam. You know? After a while, the looks go. And you have other things that you have to rely on, and that is your good name and integrity and responsibility and all those good things. Now, if you two had ended up an item, you got married and whatever, if he came to me 20 years later and said to me, she owes me $600 for the car, I would have shown him the door. But he did this because he cared for you. So, you're supposed to do the right thing. And the right thing is to pay him back his money. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $600.
Parties are excused. You may step out. Back good to your right.
And now the next case.
Parties on Daly versus Barth. Step forward, please. Step forward, please.
After co-signing for a loan, David and Annette Dixon want David's son, 30-year-old Michael Dixon, to pay them back for his repossessed truck. Michael says the debt was paid.
Order. All rise. Quiet in the courtroom. Now, this is case number 440 on the calendar in the matter of Dixon versus Dixon. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated.
Mr. Dixon, this is your son.
Yes, it is.
And some time ago, according to your complaint, he wanted to buy a truck.
That's correct.
Couldn't get credit on his own,
That's right.
so you co-signed for the truck.
Yes, I did.
How old were you at the time, sir?
That would make me 19.
And you're 30 now?
Yes, I am.
And how long did you have this truck?
Roughly 2.5 years.
And then it got repossessed?
That's correct.
Because you stopped making?
Payments. Yes.
And then you were about 20 years old, so everything was terrific. And your father says that the credit company came after him?
That's correct, yes. They came after me, and they repossessed it, and they auctioned it off, and the balance was due on it was $4,400. And they were going to come after me and take me to court if I didn't start making payments. So I agreed to start making the payments of $200 a month, and I told my boy that this is going to have to be taken care of, and he just basically said it wasn't his problem. And
He was 21 years old at the time.
no, I didn't get the paperwork until '96, the July of '96 when they came after me.
So for 8 years they were quiet?
No.
No, it was...
It's wrong.
It was repossessed in, I think, in '89.
No, 90.
I mean, or 90.
You're Mrs. Dixon?
Yes.
I am.
Are you his mother?
No, I am his stepmother.
When did you become his stepmother?
In 1989.
When for the first time did you hear from this credit company?
On July of '96. We got some documents in the mail from this lawyer that was taking over the case to retrieve the money that was owed on it.
Now, Mr. Dixon, so what you're telling me is between the time that the truck was repossessed
Yes.
in 1989 until 1996, you knew nothing about the fact that there was a deficiency when the truck was repossessed?
I was not aware of it, no.
Now, you were made aware, however, between 1989 and 1996 that there were monies owed on the truck?
No, I wasn't. Chrysler sent me a letter saying that it was sold for more than it was owed.
Let me see that.
I don't have. It was 9 years ago. I don't have that. I don't keep that records.
Your Honor, I have paperwork here showing about the repossession, the year. I have letters from the attorney.
Does anybody have any letters between 1989 and 1996?
Yes.
Can I see them?
Yes. But, Your Honor, what gets me about this whole thing is our grandchildren.
It's been on my...
Our presents, for the kids' presents are sitting right here that they didn't get for Christmas.
I called my dad,
all,
told him to come by with them.
This has all been because of all this that's been going on.
How many children do you have?
I have 3.
Your Honor, this is the second time we've taken him to court. 1996, they pulled the same thing. They moved, did not let us know where the kids were living. And also, my husband finally got to see him at Christmas down at his other son's house.
That was in '96.
It was in '96.
So
they kept us from us for 5 months. Grandkids.
he stated to me that the way things are at this point, it wouldn't be a good idea for us to see the kids.
We've always been welcome. You have always been welcome.
Mr. Dixon, what's the problem, while I'm looking this over, with your father visiting with the children?
I called him and told him he's welcome to come anytime he wants.
But see, you heard him say, I was welcome, not my wife.
That is correct.
Why is that?
Because this is the reason we're here is because of her.
Why?
Because.
Well, tell me. Why do you think the
because
reason?
this is what she does for a living.
What do you mean this is
Sues.
What? No, come on. That's only giving me one-word answers.
Well, she's got several other cases that she's suing other people for, and that's what this is all about.
Well,
if it was between my dad and I, we wouldn't be here.
It's not
you think
true,
so?
Michael.
Yes.
Well, let me tell you this. This is a confession of judgment that I'm looking at. Have you seen it?
No. Judgment?
I think
for what?
Well, it's a confession of judgment before lawsuit. And it's against your father by the finance company.
Yeah.
Whereas he agrees to pay the balance due, which was $4,400, sir, so that they wouldn't sue him.
I've got paperwork that says it's a paid repossession, that I owe zero.
Well, but if that's true, sir, then you should take that up with the credit company. You should take care of what your father has been paying, and then take it up with the credit card company.
It's not my. I've done my time on it. I mean, yes,
sir.
It's been a paid repossession. I had paperwork showing that it was paid.
All right. First, A, you don't have the paperwork to show me. B, even if you did, your father is the innocent party. You bought the truck. You used the truck. You stopped paying on the truck. Defaulted on the loan. They repossessed your truck, right?
That's correct.
And he's paying. Now, if he's paying, and he's paying because the credit company is wrong, why should he have the aggravation of having to deal with them when it was your problem? You were guilty. You bought something you couldn't pay for. You stopped paying for it. They came and repossessed it. He was a good guy and co-signed for you, right?
Yeah.
So you got to take over the aggravation. Why should he have the aggravation?
Well, maybe we ought to check into the records. Maybe they're wrong.
Who's wrong?
Wherever they get this paperwork.
Right! What do you mean we? You. Not him.
I'm not being sued by them.
Michael, it's your problem, sir. You're a grown-up. Your father merely did you a favor and said, I will guarantee the payment. Certainly they can go after him. But it's your problem. Don't you understand that? Sir.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
They'll end up, hopefully, still loving each other. But not you. You're supposed to be in the background, and you're not supposed to instigate trouble.
And later today,
You couldn't tell which phone calls were hers and which phone calls were yours. Yes. Because you were dating her brother.
No, she was dating my brother.
your brother.
I don't even know your brother.
Listen, hey,
Since when?
Miss Hunter, don't talk to each other, because you annoy me.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
David and Annette Dixon say they had to pay the bank for his son, Michael's repossessed truck. Michael says the repossession took care of the debt.
Michael, there comes a time you have to grow up, sir, and accept responsibility for what you do. How many kids do you have?
3.
You take care of them?
Oh, yeah, very well.
Do you have a father who tried to do the same for you? You have brothers and sisters?
Yes, I do.
Do you see them?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Do you see them?
Yes.
And as far as your kids are concerned, you never use your children as...
I never have.
Good. All right.
Never have used them as a tool.
Then don't. Don't. It's the wrong thing to do. In this situation, this is your aggravation. Somebody's got to be aggravated with this lawsuit. Bird doesn't want to be aggravated with this lawsuit. Right? Right? Your father shouldn't be aggravated with this lawsuit. If somebody made a mistake, then you should say, Pop, they made a mistake. Let me take it over and I'll look into it. And I'll take care of it. So, Michael, fess up.
Your Honor.
Listen, Let me tell you something about being a stepmother.
Yes.
You're supposed to butt out.
Okay.
Because they'll end up, hopefully, still loving each other. But not you. You're supposed to be in the background, and you're not supposed to instigate trouble. You got it? Good. All right. But meanwhile, you're suing for $4,000. Now, is that what you have actually paid?
No, we have paid $1,600 on this. He has paid me a total of $400 in 14 months.
So you have been making some payments, sir?
Yeah, I gave him just to keep her happy, to keep him happy.
So you acknowledge some sort of responsibility?
Just to keep my dad and I on good terms, I would have done anything.
Well, that's good. So far, you've paid $1,600. Is that right?
Yes, we have.
And according to you, Michael, you are going to be able to establish that this truck was sold without a deficit, correct?
Yes.
Good! Then I am going to give you, sir, an interim order. Your out of pocket so far is $1,600. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Good. In the event, of course, Michael, that you cannot establish to the satisfaction of the credit company that they are mistaken, this is without prejudice to your father, if he has to, coming back here, if you refuse to take on the obligation for the remainder of the bill, coming back to court to seek the remainder of the judgment. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yes.
Good. Judgment in this case is for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,600. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out. Out this way, man. Back door to your right, please.
Used to be real tight. Yeah, used to be. Used to work together every day.
And he said, I can come over.
Don't you remember?
But she cannot.
Because we
And
wouldn't be here.
That's...
If it was just you and I, we wouldn't be here.
That's
Why
not right.
not, Michael?
You know we wouldn't be here.
And now the next case.
Parties on Hunter versus Harvey. Step forward, please. Glass versus Carr. Step forward, please.
23-year-old Tiffany Glass is suing her former roommate, 20-year-old Kelly Carr, because she says Kelly moved out of their apartment, giving only 5 days' notice and leaving behind numerous unpaid phone bills.
Miss Glass, Miss Carr was your roommate.
Yes.
Did you know her before she moved into your apartment?
No, I did not.
Did she answer an ad? Is that how she got your apartment?
No, she got it through a friend of mine.
And you have a one-bedroom, two-bedroom apartment?
2 bedroom, 2 bathroom.
What was her rent?
$375.
And how long were you living in bliss with the defendant?
She moved in February, and it was fine. You know, we totally got along. It was fine in March, and it kind of started to go down at the end of March. You know.
Now, had she paid you for February?
Yes.
She paid you for March?
Yes.
When did she move out?
At the end of May.
She pay you for April?
Yes.
She pay you for May?
Yes.
So why are we here?
Because she left at the very end of May, and she gave me 5 days notice to find somebody new and decided that she didn't have to pay anything else.
Did you have a lease with her?
No.
So?
She just left.
You weren't getting along?
Correct.
Is that right?
Right.
Why weren't you getting along?
Well, I didn't really know. There wasn't enough communication between the two of us.
But you knew enough to know that you weren't getting along?
Pretty much. But there was never enough, oh, well, I'm moving out. Oh.
It's hard to live with somebody.
Yes, it is.
Well, since she paid you for the months that she was there and she moved out 5 days before the end of the month, did she owe you any money? I mean, other than the rent. I'm not considering the rent.
Before that, she didn't pay the deposit when she moved in, but I said, don't worry about that until June because, you know, at the end of June, the other roommate, blah, 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 was going to get hers, and then she could give it to me then.
Fine, so we're not talking about the deposit. But other than the rent, she's paid up?
Oh, no, there's several phone bills. And
What phone bills?
Which phone bills?
Mm-hmm.
There was phone bills from, the statement date was on June 23rd, and then it went back into May. It went from May to June. And there was a $40 900 call that I shouldn't have paid, and there were several long-distance phone calls
In what amount? Come, quickly.
Around $75
In long-distance calls?
in long-distance calls.
Okay. Tell me why you left.
I left because living with her was unbearable. I went through, starting back at the end of March, early April, out of the blue, I started getting notes on my bed saying, you need to stay away from my friends. When I first moved in with her, I had just moved down to California. I didn't know very many people. Tiffany was nice, and she took me out. She introduced me to people, but then she tried to take that away. She said, you stay away from my friends. My friends are my friends. Your friends are your friends. You're going to make my life miserable.
So girly things.
Girly things.
Girly things. All right. Girly things. You paid February, March, April, and May. She says that you owe her $115 for phone bills.
I owed her approximately $150 for everything. That was gas, everything. And I told her when I gave her 2 weeks' notice that I would be leaving, that I will pay that. You just send me the bills to my grandmother's house, and then I'll send you a check. But when that happened, she began leaving harassing, vulgar phone mails on my voicemail. I would get them at work. They would disturb me at work. I would have to leave work because I would be so upset. I got harassing I have copies of the messages on papers. I have letters that she sent me threatening me.
That you owe her money?
That I owe her money, and if I don't, she's telling I quote, every living soul what I have done to her. I didn't do anything to her. I was protecting myself. I left. I didn't have to give her any notice, but I gave her 2 weeks' notice, being the last week of May, and then the first week of June, and I gave her 1 week's rent.
For June?
For June. I have paper here to prove it.
Judge Judy is ready.
Forward, please.
35-year-old Major Castleberry is suing 39-year-old apartment manager Zachary Thomas for assault.
Order. All rise. Yeah, it's case number 361 on the calendar in the matter of Castleberry versus Thomas. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Gentlemen.
I'll wait for you, sir. You ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Good. You are the apartment manager.
Yes, ma'am.
In a complex where the plaintiff lives. Correct?
No, he doesn't live there.
He doesn't. Did he live there?
No.
He was just visiting there.
He was just visiting.
And you were there visiting a couple that you say you take care of.
Yes, ma'am. Mm-hmm.
And you claim he assaulted you.
That's correct.
You want to tell me how that came about?
Yes, ma'am. From point A to point Z, I was actually I was visiting Mr. Bob Miller here, and actually I went to the store for him, and I came back. While at the store, I met a young lady, asked me to give her a ride, you know, up the way towards where we live, where actually Bob lived. And
Where do you live?
I live in Emeryville. I used to live next door to Bob Miller for 11 and a half years before I moved.
Okay. So go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. And as me and this, the young lady I gave a ride, you know, up to where Bob lived, we're sitting out in front of the apartment complex, and we're just sitting there talking. And you know, I acknowledged Zach was on the first level there, and Zach says, I spoke to him. How you doing, Zach? We never had a problem prior to this.
So you knew him from before?
Yes, ma'am. I've known him since I've lived there. I used to be the manager of the building adjacent to his. And so Zach came to the vehicle and says, "Hey, man, you know, what are you guys doing sitting in front of the apartment complex? Don't you know, people get shot for sitting in front of, the apartment complex." So Zach proceeded up the stairs, and I thought about what he said, and I told the young lady, I said, "Hey, well, let's go up, to Bob's apartment, right?"
To Bob's apartment?
Yes, ma'am, Mr. Bob Miller. And so we goes into the apartment and sitting down talking, conversating, and 45 minutes later, there was a knock at the door. And so I go and answer the door, I ask, "Who is it?" He says, "Zach." So I open the door to see, "Yeah, Zach, what is it?" And then he, proceeded to push the door in, forcefully push it. I said, "Man, you can't do this, man. That's not right. You're out of line." And he, pushed me into the partition there, and he grabbed a plant, and he tried to hit me over the head with the plant, but the vase that the plant was in fell, hit the ground, so therefore he was left holding dirt in his hand. And also, he struck me upside the head, and I received damages from that.
What kind of damages?
I have like a scar tissue under my temple area here.
Did you go to the doctor?
Yes, ma'am.
You have a doctor's
Yes, ma'am, I
bill
have.
report?
Yes, I have.
Okay. So, what happened?
Okay, on July the 2nd, I normally make my rounds of my building, you know, making sure the building is safe, making sure that nobody is hanging out in front of the building. Then I observed Major Castleberry sitting inside this car. I don't know, he was smoking something, you know, and
What do you mean he was smoking something?
he was smoking something that I assume it was, you know, like crack, cause you know he's a, you know, abuser, and and also when they got out the car, the young lady got out and came to my building, and before she walked up the stairs, she had used the restroom right in front of my stairs.
You mean she just
used the restroom in front of my stairs?
You mean she urinated in front of your stairs?
Yes, ma'am.
She didn't use a restroom because it wasn't a restroom, it was the stairs.
Was the stairs? Yes, ma'am. And
You
this,
saw this, sir?
Yes, ma'am. And this was around between 3:30 and 4 o'clock a.m. in the morning. Okay, and then when Major Castleberry proceeded up the stairs into the house, I didn't think nothing of it until he just opened up the door and just went in. And
So
then,
you were concerned that you didn't see him knock at the door or that you didn't see Bob let him in. He just opened the door and went in.
Right, he just, you know, because he just opens on the door and just walks in. I knocks on the door, he cracks the door. Then I observe that when he cracks the door, my concern is with Bob.
So what did you see when he opened the door crack, you mean?
I seen this naked woman standing up, getting her clothes off the floor.
Was that the same woman?
The same woman that he was in a car with.
Who you saw using your staircase as a bathroom?
Right.
Okay.
And then as she was standing in the middle of the room floor naked, and then I said, I want to talk to Bob. And then he go tell me that you're not going to talk to no one, and slam the door in my face. So I'm assuming that he just got upset because I disturbed whoever he about to do. When he slammed the door, I talked through the door. I said, I want to talk to Bob to make sure Bob know that you're in the house. Because I don't know if he let the door open for you, or I don't know that you just walked in. Because Bob always have people coming inside his house, drinking with him, and always leaving out with money of his after he passed out of drinking. I said, okay, if you want to open the door, I'll just go call the police, and then so I can see, is Bob okay?
So, did you do that?
Yes. And then the two couples came out, him and his girlfriend, came out the house, and they start arguing about 4 a.m. in the morning to top of their lungs. Then I was trying to come to them. I said, look, y'all can't be yelling in my building at no 4 a.m. in the morning.
And where was this taking place, this yelling and screaming?
Right outside, because they had stepped outside.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
You take her up to the apartment with Bob passed out on the couch.
Well, Bob was actually asleep, you know.
He was in a deep sleep.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Major Castleberry is suing apartment manager Zachary Thomas for assault. Zachary claims Mr. Castleberry was causing problems in his building and was attempting to detain him until the police arrived.
This is outside the apartment, so how did he get hit in the head?
Okay, then after I went to trying to calm them down, and then the door was already open, so I seen Bob laying down, face down on the couch. So I went to the apartment to see was he okay. Major Castleberry came in and started shoving me, well, tried to shove me out the door. You know, I said, Major, you know, get your hands off me. Then he kept on shoving me, kept on shoving me, kept on shoving me. And then I wouldn't budge. So I detained him against the wall. I said, Major, be still until the police come. Then I heard footsteps coming up the stairs or down the stairs. So anyway, I heard footsteps. Then when I turned and looked to see who was that, when I turned back around, he had hit me in, somewhere in the cheek area. You know, he had struck me first in the cheek area. And then he struggled trying to get it loose, started trying to get it loose. Then as he kept on trying to get it loose, trying to hit me still, kept on trying to swing, that's when I countered and hit him to calm him down. Then after I hit him, then he come
Why
right...
did you pin him, sir? Mr. Thomas, I understand what you're saying, and I understand that you felt as if you were protecting the tenant or trying to make sure that the tenant was okay in your building.
Right.
What I don't understand is, sir, once you saw the tenant in your building, who you know, according to you, drinks, and you saw him, according to you, sort of passed out on the couch, right?
No, I didn't know he was passed out.
You saw him face down on the couch.
Yes, ma'am.
That's what you saw. So you knew he was okay.
No.
Or as okay as he has been other times when you've seen him if you said, you know, he drinks, right?
Right.
So why did you try to detain this man?
Because he was swinging on me.
No, he wasn't swinging on you, sir, until you went into the apartment.
When I first came to the apartment, knocked on the door, like I said before, and then he refused to let me speak to my tenant.
He doesn't have to let you speak to your tenant, sir. You know that. I mean, I'm not faulting you. I think you were trying to do your job. I don't think that there was anything malicious about your intent. I really don't. Except that because you had certain grounds to believe that the people who were going into that apartment were not wrapped too tight that evening. You know, you have a woman using a staircase as a bathroom.
That's a plain lie, Your Honor.
Mr. Castleberry,
Yes, ma'am.
what were you doing out sitting in the car 3:30 in the morning with this lady that you picked up at the store?
Obviously, Your Honor.
No. Look at my eyes, Mr. Castleberry.
Definitely. No
Mr.
problem.
Castleberry,
Yes, ma'am.
you said you met this lady when
Yes,
you were
ma'am.
going out to the store.
Yes, ma'am.
And you were going to the store to get what?
Well, I was going to the
Here,
store.
look here.
Oh, fine. I was going to the store for Bob to get him a bottle of liquor, actually.
Right.
Yes, ma'am.
So you were going to the liquor store, and at the liquor store you met this lady who needed a ride
Correct.
to where she lived.
Basically, no matter, she just actually wanted to ride up the street. She didn't ask me to take her home. She just asked me, you know, basically the conversation went like, you know, can I hang with you, right? I said, well...
At the liquor store where you went.
No, this...
You went to the liquor store.
This is not a liquor store. This is actually Walgreens, you know. And that's why I met the lady on the way out of the store. And she asked me...
So she asked you, the lady who you met coming out of Walgreens, said to you, can I hang with you?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Castleberry.
Yes, ma'am.
As much as I hate to admit it, sir, I wasn't born yesterday.
Okay, though. Well, that's the truth, Your Honor.
Now you, who I'm sure hadn't had anything to drink that night. Is that right?
I had some beers or what have you, but yet and still I wasn't...
What's the what have you?
Some beers.
It's a what have you that I'm interested in.
Yes, ma'am. Well, I had beers.
Then you had some beers, and you went to get some more liquor for both you and Mr. Bob over here, who was passed out on the sofa. And you meet the young lady outside of Walgreens who wants to hang with you. And you take her up to the apartment with Bob passed out on the couch. So far, am I getting this picture right?
Well, Bob was actually asleep, you know.
He was in a deep sleep. Is that right, Bob?
No, it isn't.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
There was no reason for him to be alarmed by him seeing me go in there into Bob.
With the lady who had just urinated on the stairwell.
That's not true.
I believe it's true.
Okay, doke. Yes, ma'am.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Major Castleberry is suing apartment manager Zachary Thomas for assault. Zachary says Major may have been committing a crime, and he wanted to hold him for the police.
This young lady, why did you bring her up to Bob's house?
Actually, it was actually, I don't know, no premeditated anything of that matter. It was no harm, no law broken. I told her, yeah, sure, you can come on, and we just conversate, just talking. And also, Your Honor, it's people trying to make a mockery out of this situation. Yet and still, what happened to me basically shouldn't have happened at all.
I absolutely agree with you,
yes,
sir.
Yes, ma'am. So that's the bottom line.
I absolutely agree that it shouldn't have happened to you.
Right.
He was trying to make sure that his tenant was safe because you have had no prior problems with this man.
Never. And Zachary
Just a second. You've had no prior problems with this man.
Never.
But he was concerned for the following reason. He was concerned because you were bringing a woman up to Bob's apartment, a woman who he had seen, and I absolutely believe him when he says that she was urinating in the hallway.
Oh,
absolutely believe it.
Okay.
Okay? Because, quite frankly, sir, I think that you may tell me that you were not intoxicated that evening, but I think that you and Bob had done a little drinking, if that's all you were doing. If that's all you were doing. So that you weren't in complete control of what was going on. Now, he may not have acted 100% appropriately. You understand that, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
But he says that you hit him first.
That's a lie, Your Honor.
Well, he says that you hit him first, but then again, he was pinning you against a wall, a partition.
A partition wall.
A partition. So he put his hands on you, and I don't think he had any right to do that. I don't think he had any right to put his hands on you because what he came in and saw was two guys who were semi-inebriated, and according to him, with a naked woman in the apartment. Something that I would not necessarily encourage, but which is not a crime.
It's not true.
Listen, Mr. Castleberry, this whole scenario that evening doesn't sound totally kosher to me. You know what that means? Totally right. Because I don't know what you're bringing some lady that you just met off the street, whether it's at 10 o'clock at night or 3 o'clock in the morning, up to this man's house for. What do you don't know anything about her. You know? You're pretty well sauced, he's pretty well sauced. Everybody's sauced, and you bring a stranger up to the house that can clean him out and go into the bedroom where his 92-year-old mother is sleeping and slit her throat.
No.
You know, I mean, all that is possible. This is somebody that you didn't know.
May I actually say something, Your Honor?
Sure.
Thank you very much. Actually, Your Honor, none of this, Zach have known me since 1985. I've never been in jail, never been in no trouble, or nothing of that matter, period. And he know that, hey, there was no reason for him to be alarmed by him seeing me go in there into Bob.
With the lady who had just urinated on the stairwell.
That's not true.
I believe it's true.
Okay, doke. Yes, ma'am.
I believe it's true.
Okay, doke.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
The reason I put my hands on him, because he put his hands on me first, shoving me out the apartment.
You had no business being in the apartment after you saw that he was in the apartment still breathing.
Okay.
Except that this woman, but the woman, according to you, was outside, right? At the time when this took place, the woman was outside the apartment, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. I mean, I understand your concern, Mr. Thomas.
And there was an arrest there at the same time.
A what?
The police did arrest the woman.
For what?
For being intoxicated, wouldn't shut up, and wouldn't listen to reason. The police handcuffed her and took her to jail.
Interesting. They took her away in handcuffs?
He's lying.
No. He's not.
All right. Okay, doke.
No, he's not.
All right.
He's not lying. Mr. Castleberry, you have to use better judgment, sir, if you have better judgment, because if this man gives you access to his apartment, you have to exercise better judgment about who you permit into the apartment. Now, you're suing him for $4,000, Mr. Thomas. No way. No way. And I do believe that you did, in fact, hit him before he hit you. I also believe, however, that Mr. Thomas, sir, overreacted in the situation by not leaving the apartment once you saw that he was okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So, you're both a little bit wrong.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Now, it says here that you had a little bit of a knot on your head, right?
Yes, ma'am, that's what it says.
That's what it says. So I have some other questions for you. Are you employed, sir?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
Who do you work for?
I'm a government painter.
A what?
A government painter.
So you work full-time for the government or part-time?
Full-time.
Did you miss any work?
Just
over here, sir.
Just the days that I had to go, and I consulted an attorney, and I also went to the doctor.
It's not what I'm asking you, sir. After this incident,
yes,
not the days you took off to go to see a lawyer, or not the days that you took off after you consulted with the lawyer to go to a doctor. Because that's about what happened, right? First you went to see a lawyer, and then the lawyer sent you to a doctor, correct?
That is correct.
See how smart I am? See, if you're really hurt, you go to the doctor before you go to the lawyer. That's what happens when you're really hurt. Okay. When you're not really hurt, first you go to the lawyer, and then the lawyer sends you to a doctor.
May I say something, please?
Sounds right to me, Judy.
So, Mr. Castleberry, I am awarding you damages, sir, in the amount of $1. Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Thank you.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Jennifer and Peter Tothfall say that 7 weeks after adopting their newborn baby, the birth mother, 36-year-old Debbie Kay, changed her mind and took her daughter back. The Tothfalls say they were heartbroken and devastated after losing the child they grew to love as their own. They're suing to recoup adoption costs from Debbie Kay and her boyfriend, Phil Francis.
Order. All rise. Quiet in the courtroom, please. All rise. Your Honor, this is case number 311 on the calendar, the matter of Tothfall versus K. Francis. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated.
Mr. and Mrs. Tothfall, I've read your complaint, and I am most sympathetic because, as an old family court judge, this is not the first time that I've seen a failed adoption. According to your papers, you and your husband wished to adopt a child, and you were put in touch with the defendants, who, for reasons which I'm sure they will tell me, were prepared to relinquish the baby that the defendant was carrying to you, and you agreed to pay certain of her expenses for the last trimester of her pregnancy. So far, is that correct?
That's correct.
Is that correct? You did, in fact, make those payments. They were $1,500 a month to cover your expenses, medical bills, rent, whatever, during the course of the last trimester. And then the baby was born, a little girl, I believe, correct?
Right.
So you want to tell me what happened?
Well, we had entered into an adoption plan, as you've said. She was born. We were present at the birth. I was present at the birth with my mother. I assisted in the birth. And
in the delivery room?
In the delivery room, yes. The next day, we came back to pick up the baby to take her home. We met with the social workers, and they agreed to sign a placement agreement, which they signed. We took the baby home, and we had her in our home for 7 weeks. We have 2 children of our own. We're very grateful that we have them. We feel very fortunate.
How old are they?
9 and 7. We bonded with the baby for 7 weeks.
Had you been trying to have a third child?
No. 5 years ago, I had uterine cancer and a hysterectomy, so I'm no longer able to have any more children. But we wanted to open our home up again to another child. We had always wanted to have more children, and this was just something we wanted to do, and which is why we chose adoption. We originally got involved in a surrogate program, but just got discouraged due to the success rate, and also because I had a lot of chemotherapy. We didn't know the effect of the medication on my body, so we decided to adopt instead. And we, anyway, we had her for 7 weeks, and then they took her back. They took our baby back. I have photographs to show you. We bonded with her, we had her, and we were very devastated.
When did you know that there was difficulty?
We didn't know until she was born August 11th. We didn't know until mid-September.
What happened in mid-September?
We had a call from our attorney handling the adoption that apparently Debbie had sent them a letter stating that she was interested in possibly getting the baby back, but didn't say in so many words that she wanted the baby back. Basically beat around the bush
And he told us about this letter. We have never seen a copy of the letter. That was mid-September, and on September 30th, the morning of September 30th, I needed to bring her back.
How did that come about?
Well, there was a lot of talk for the tail end of the last 2 weeks of September. Phone conversations I was having between the social worker who was handling our case, phone conversations between myself and the attorney. She never really came out and told anybody she wanted the baby back. She never called me until the end of September, the 29th of September, was when I received a personal call from the birth mother stating that she wanted her back. And she said to me that she would like to meet me at a location, and she was going to call the attorney's office and let them know, make them aware of the fact that this is what was going to be happening. I was completely devastated. I was breaking down on the telephone. This wasn't, I mean, we had bonded with this baby. We had grown to love her. Our children had grown to love her. It wasn't as if she changed her mind, you know, the day that she was born. This baby was becoming attached to us. She was developing a personality. We were bonding with her.
There were some legal documents that had to be signed after the placement agreement, because that's what usually happens.
Right.
And that's what we call a surrender document. You're familiar with that?
The only papers they told me that I needed to sign if I wanted to was to waive my rights for the 90 days.
That's what I'm talking about. And you did not sign those.
Right.
Am I correct?
Is this the waiver? You're talking about the waiver?
I'm talking about the waiver.
Right. No, I never signed those.
But you were asked to sign the waiver.
I was asked to sign those many times.
Many times. Well, we'll get to that in a moment.
She had also agreed to sign it in the hospital.
Are you two married?
No.
No, Your Honor.
But you live together?
Right.
Yes, Your Honor.
How long have you been living together?
5 years.
Yeah.
We have a 4-year-old together.
And how many other children do you have?
We have 4, besides the baby. We have 5.
And what made you decide that you thought it was in the child's best interest, since I assumed that that was your motivation, to place this child for adoption?
Neither one of us was working at the time, Your Honor.
We were just having a really bad time, and we neither one had a job, and
We just thought it would be the best for the baby.
because we couldn't provide really well for our own children and this one, and it was just very, you know, hard.
It was
a very
difficult
hard decision. It wasn't something that was easy. It was heartbreaking. It was very hard.
I'm sure it was. But you decided to do it.
Right.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
2 days after the baby was born, we received a call from our attorney's office stating that they wanted $720 in lieu of an epidural so they could take their other children to Disneyland.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Heartbroken parents, Jennifer and Peter Tothpaul, are suing Debbie Kay, the birth mother of the baby they adopted. The Tothpauls say 7 weeks after they took the newborn home, Debbie and her boyfriend Phil changed their minds and demanded their child back. They're suing to recoup adoption costs.
So let's get to the reason you changed your mind and when you did.
There was just many reasons. There was many reasons because, well, one reason is because I wanted her. You know, it was devastating for me to give her up. You know, when your baby's born, you cry because you're happy. I cried because I was just
I cried because I had to give her
heartbroken.
away.
Right, and it was very hard. And
when, for the first time, did you make the decision that you were going to ask for her back?
It was about a month later. I had...
When? She was born in?
August.
August? And when did you decide to ask, when in your mind did you say, I'm going to ask for her back?
I can't tell you an exact date. I mean, I was going through so much, you know, it's just, in September. I had talked to the agency weeks before, and they never told them anything.
That's
you know,
because
I kept
you told
calling.
them not to tell us.
I did not tell
No,
them.
no, don't talk to each other.
I had talked to the social worker.
Did you have misgivings right after the baby was born in August about whether you were going to go through with this adoption?
No.
Was it a week later? Was it 2 weeks later?
It was about I don't know, 4 weeks later. There was a lot of things that led up to it, you know, is that we had to go through so many things.
Like what?
Like, we sent all our kids away because we kept it a secret. And that was very, very emotional because I kept hidden. I didn't tell very many people. And just different things. It was just really hard. And they had told us things that, like, he wasn't even present for the birth. And I felt like, you know, she wasn't as important as their own children.
That's not the reason, Debbie, that you changed your mind.
No, that's not the only reason. It was just different things. I was just unsure about what was going on. And I felt, when I talked to everybody at the agencies and the lawyers and everything, they made me feel like I was, you know, less important, or I just felt less significant, you know, and it wasn't as important for them to send me the papers. They made me feel like I was selling her. And that wasn't my intentions at all.
When for the first time were you asked to sign the waiver? In the hospital?
Yes.
And you decided not to sign the waiver in the hospital. Can you tell me why? He did.
No, there was something that was said, like we were going to go out a couple weeks later for lunch or something and sign this paper, this waiver.
You mean you weren't asked to sign the waiver in the hospital?
Yeah, we were.
Sure you were.
Yeah, and we declined it then.
Right. My question to you is, why did you say no, sir, in the hospital?
In case she wanted to get the baby back, because I was fully supporting her in whatever she wanted to do.
So even in the hospital, you weren't sure that you were going to go through with this adoption. Is that what you're telling me?
No, I'm not telling you that at all.
But what you just said to me suggests that that was true, because if at that moment of the child's birth you were totally committed to this adoption, then you would have signed the waiver at the time. Don't speak to him. I understand that you can have a change of heart. My point is, these people are suing for nothing else other than, at this point, $4,500, which is what they gave to you in support for the 3 months that they agreed to. I mean, they can't be compensated for their heartbreak. That doesn't necessarily make you the bad guys, because you're entitled to have a change of heart. That's what the law provides. But my question is, when was the point in time when you had this change of heart? If you were committed to the adoption without reservation, you would have signed the waiver in the hospital at the time that they took the baby home.
We couldn't. We had to do it after. We had to go to this in L.A. somewhere. That's what we were told.
Because he wasn't there to sign something.
He doesn't have to be there to sign. You have to be there to sign. The waiver is something you have to do.
But they told me I could not sign this in the hospital.
They asked you to do it immediately thereafter, and you put them off.
No, I was going to do it. I had told them I would. And you know that I told them I would.
You never did it. Did
Right.
you go away on vacation?
I was going to go away, and I never was able to go.
But you told them you were going away on vacation.
Right.
Whether you went or not, you said you couldn't sign the papers. You'll sign them when you come home from vacation, correct?
Right.
So that's
They
right.
called me 3 days after the baby was born. They called me 3 days. I didn't want to talk about this. I didn't want to deal with it. You know, it was...
Debbie, I'm
But
not
I did not
faulting
tell
you
them.
for changing your mind, Debbie. I want you to understand that. The law builds that in. But if what you're telling me is 3 days after the baby was born, when the baby is already with the new parents, you're called and said, would you come in so we can sign the papers?
That's not what they didn't call me to say that. They just called me to tell me that he hadn't signed his part of the papers yet, and just to let me know what was going on. That was the only time I ever heard from anybody.
No, that's not true. You knew you had to sign the waiver. Come on,
Right,
Debbie.
that's not what they said, but they
you
weren't
knew
telling me to do it then.
You knew you had to sign the
Right.
waiver, and you kept putting it off.
And we had 90 days to do
They
it.
didn't tell me I had to sign
I
it.
know
They
you
said-
had 90 days to do it, sir. I mean,
Right.
are we understanding each other?
Yeah, totally. I'm not disputing anything. I'm just saying...
You had 90 days. Of course you have 90 days to do it. The idea is, if you're committed to doing it,
Right.
then you do it at the earliest possible time, right? And you two folks didn't do that because you had misgivings as to whether you were absolutely positive that you wanted to do it. Is that true?
No,
I don't
it's not.
believe you. I don't believe that. I don't believe that, because otherwise you would have done it. And the bottom line is, you did in fact say, I'm not signing the papers, I want the baby back. I'm not faulting you for wanting your baby back. I'm faulting you for taking their payments in September.
And you know,
I'm faulting you for that.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
You know what? She sent her sister to pick up the baby.
I had just started a brand new job. I couldn't just leave.
Talking about your daughter.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Jennifer and Peter Tothpaul are suing Debbie Kay, the birth mother of their adopted baby, after she demanded they return her child. The heartbroken Tothpauls are suing to recover the cost of the adoption.
You took the money in September, even though you had misgivings. That's not fair, because that also says to them, everything is going the way it should be going. We can fall in love with this baby. That's not fair. And what I'm suggesting to you is, they're not the bad guys here. You're not bad either. But you didn't play it 100% straight with them. And it's a shame.
You know, when I talked to her, and I hadn't even made up my mind then, she was very, very mean. She says, I am not a babysitter, and I'm going to call Child Protection Services.
Well, for
and then, and I hadn't even said anything yet.
Sure,
and after she said, do you want to come to my house and see our home and everything? And I agreed. But that kept going through my mind. How could she be so mean? She's going to call the Child Protection Service on this baby. Well, she's hurting the baby. And then when we did change our mind, and they made it very, very hard for us to get the baby.
You would too. If the circumstances were different, Debbie, you would too.
No. She dropped her off. She didn't even tell me what kind of formula she was drinking. She dropped her off in just a diaper and a T-shirt, which, you know what? I didn't even know what kind of formula she was drinking.
Why didn't you ask?
She wasn't there.
Just why didn't you ask the social worker?
The social worker wasn't there either. The social worker was on vacation. The lawyer was the one that was giving us a hard time. He wouldn't even let the father pick her up. He's the one that told us they were going to call child. They made us feel like we were evil, and it was
in
nothing.
their minds, Debbie, you were evil. First, they hear that you're unable to take care of this infant because you have too many other kids that have to be taken care of. You have no jobs. You have no way of supporting this baby. And so that two people, the two of you, who look like two able-bodied people, had to accept $4,500, $1,500 a month to pay your rent and your food and whatever other expenses you had just to keep you for the last trimester of this baby's birth. And then, after 7 weeks, you say, well, now I want her back. Were you both working? Were you both working at the time you got her back?
I had just started working.
When you got her back. So who was going to take care of the baby?
I had a babysitter.
Debbie.
You know what? She sent her sister to pick up the baby.
That's right, because I just started working. I had just started a brand new job. I couldn't just leave.
Talking about your daughter.
And we'd already agreed on this the night before. And she knew the whole situation.
She doesn't know the whole situation, Debbie. You just
no. I told her that
you're not being fair. You can't say that these folks did anything wrong.
I didn't say they were doing anything wrong.
Okay.
Can I mention something else?
Sure.
In lieu of receiving an epidural in the hospital, they wanted money in exchange for that.
But I didn't come up with that.
Please don't speak.
They wanted money in exchange for that. That didn't come from us. We wouldn't make such a suggestion. I told her I wanted her to be comfortable, and we would talk about that after the fact. 2 days after the baby was born, we received a call from our attorney's office stating that they wanted $720 in lieu of an epidural so they could take their other children to Disneyland in San Diego.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I know you're heartbroken. Fortunately for you, you can be heartbroken and look at your two kids when you go home.
Right.
You know that.
I'm very grateful for my children. I'm very fortunate.
I'm sure you know other people who have been through the adoption process and the adoptions have failed that don't have the two gifts that you do at home to go home and look at. It doesn't make it any easier. Tough lesson, but you understand how hurt they are. All right, the issue is not a difficult one, especially since I believe that you understand it is your moral responsibility to return this money. You had an agreement with the plaintiffs that that they would, in fact, take care of you for 3 months of your pregnancy, and you would allow them to adopt your baby. You did not allow them to adopt your baby, and therefore they're entitled to their money back. So judgment in this case is for the plaintiff in the amount of $4,500. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge
versus Harvey. Step forward, please.
24-year-old Stephanie Hunter says her former roommate, 24-year-old Katrina Harvey, owes her for long-distance phone calls.
All right, this dispute is about a phone bill.
Yes.
You were living with the plaintiff, is that correct?
Yes, I was.
How did it come about that she was living with you?
Me and Katrina have been friends since we were about 16 years old. We were really close. She stayed with me before she moved away. I guess she was having problems down in Carolina where she was at. She decided she wanted to come back to California. I told her if she wanted to come back, you know, she can come stay with me until she got on her feet. And she did that.
And the only arrangement was that she paid for her own long-distance phone calls.
Well, what it was is she paid me $100. She only stayed a month, and she was supposed to pay for her own phone bill. Yes. Her own, all the phone calls that she made, she was supposed to pay for it.
Okay. And you say she left and didn't pay the phone bill.
Right.
And how much was her phone bill?
The phone bill was $362 and...
For 1 month?
For 1 month. It was $362.65.
Okay. Your defense.
When I moved there, originally I was there for like 3 weeks total. And when I first got there, I gave her $100. And she said, the only thing I want you to pay for is for your phone calls. So I said, well, apply that to the phone calls.
She's lying.
Just a second.
No, you're lying.
Just a second.
She's lying.
Shh. Hey.
Okay.
First of all, madam, what you're telling me now is nothing remotely similar to what you put in your answer, which I have. I mean, that's a good story.
No, but I told
But that's a good story. But in your answer you say...
Well, she just told you that I gave her $100.
Listen to me. In your answer, you say that you agreed to pay the phone bill, but the problem was you couldn't tell which phone calls were hers and which phone calls were yours.
Yes.
Because you were dating her brother.
No, she was dating my brother.
Your brother.
I don't even know your brother.
Listen, hey,
Since when?
Miss Hunter, listen to me. Don't talk to each other, because you annoy me.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I don't have any sister.
You do have a sister.
I do not have any sister.
You do have a sister.
Just give me a sister then. Tell my mother that. Girl, let her know that. She has extra children.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Stephanie Hunter is suing her former roommate, Katrina Harvey, for unpaid phone bills. Katrina claims they both made calls to the same phone number, making them equally responsible for the phone bills.
She was dating your brother, and both of you were calling your brother, which accounts for a lot of the long-distance calls, and that's your defense. It had nothing to do with this $100 that you say you gave her on deposit.
Both of us were not necessarily calling my brother. My phone calls were made to, when I moved out here, and I was not having any type of problems, I just decided to come back. When I decided to come back, she, God, I forgot my thought.
Because you're lying.
No.
Miss Hunter, listen to me. Miss Hunter, if you speak to her again, I'm going to dismiss your lawsuit.
Okay.
Understood?
Okay.
And then you're going to leave here with nothing.
Okay.
Not even the opportunity of having it heard.
Okay.
The calls that I were making were to my place of employment because I transferred out here. That number and my son's father is I've made some calls to my brother, but not as numbered, not as nearly any of that.
All right. Now, 803 is where you came from, is that right?
Yes.
Area code 803.
Mm-hmm.
And what's 813?
I have no idea what 813 is.
The highlighted portions are Trina's call.
Judge,
excuse me?
The highlighted portions are Trina's call, and Judge,
just a second, you say that, but what I'm trying to figure out is most of these calls are to an 803.
Mm-hmm. That's Columbia, South Carolina.
Right.
The ones that are circled in blue are mine. They're a bottom portion. There's about 5 phone calls that are mine.
I understand that.
And that's to Newcastle.
Listen
to me.
The
813, I don't know.
St. Petersburg, Florida. Who lives in St. Petersburg, Florida?
Her friend
Who knows?
Angela.
She has a million men. Who knows? Who
Listen to me.
knows in Florida?
Hey,
who knows?
One more time. and then you've both gone. Do me a favor. Would you add up all these Newcastle calls here for me?
Sure.
And how does she want a reconnect fee when her phone was already disconnected long before she ever received that bill?
Just a second.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was. You was calling me from a payphone harassing me.
No, I wasn't.
Yes, you were.
Trina, that was after that.
Very good.
$50.73, Judge.
Now, $312. How much, madam, did you give her towards your phone bill?
$100.
I don't believe you. I don't believe that the $100 was towards that, because if it was, you would have absolutely included it in your answer. So forget about the $100. You didn't give her $100 towards your long-distance bill as soon as you walked in.
Yes, I did.
Well, I don't believe you. I don't believe you. You lived in her house. There was gas, there was electric, there was food, there was all the
I was
all the
there
other
for
things.
3 weeks, and there is nothing that I would not have done for her.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I don't believe you, but let us assume I did believe you. You still would have owed her over $200 for the phone. How much did you give her?
I'm just trying to tell you that she was calling my brother just as much as I was using that phone. That's how come we cannot determine which one of those calls were hers and what were mine.
I can determine it. 803 is where you came from, correct?
And my brother comes from 803 too.
Just a second. Do you have your last month's phone bill, the phone
Yes, I do.
a couple of months ago? Can I take a look at it?
Yes, I do, and I also have my...
Don't.
Okay.
Just give me what you have.
Okay. Here you go.
Because
This
what I
one,
would
too.
like to do is just to compare to see how many times she called her brother in previous months.
She did not get in touch with him until she got in touch with me.
You know, you got a good story all the time. I'm just going to look at this and see. Just a second. Now, she wasn't very close to your brother. No. She wasn't very close to your brother. And this is for what month? June? Oh, yes, this is the same month. Yeah. And then you come. I do not believe, madam, that you gave her $100 in advance towards your long-distance bill. I don't believe that at all. What you owe is $312, and the judgment in this case is for the plaintiff in the amount of $312. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out. I'll be back.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next...
বিসমিল্লাহির রহমানির রহিম আসসালামু আলাইকুম ওয়া রাহমাতুল্লাহি ওয়া বারাকাতুহু। আশা করি মহান আল্লাহ রাব্বুল আলামিনের অশেষ রহমতে আপনারা সকলেই ভালো আছেন। সুপ্রিয় দর্শক মণ্ডলী, আল্লাহ তাআলার একটি নাম আছে যেই নামটি নিয়ে কেউ দোয়া করলে তা কবুল করা হয় এবং এই নামের উসিলায় কিছু চাওয়া হলে তা দেওয়া হয়। আমি আপনাদেরকে বলছি, আপনি যদি ধনী হতে চান, গায়বী ধন সম্পদ পেতে চান, আজকের এই আমলটি করুন, খুবই দ্রুত ধনী হয়ে যাবেন। গায়বীভাবে ধন সম্পদ পেতে থাকবেন ইনশাআল্লাহ। এই আমলটি করলে আপনি নিজেই বুঝতে পারবেন কিভাবে আপনার হাতে টাকা পয়সা চলে আসে। এই দোয়াটি খুবই ছোট এবং খুবই পাওয়ারফুল। এই আমলটি করুন, অবশ্যই আপনার মনের সকল ইচ্ছা পূরণ হয়ে যাবে। এই আমলটি করে আপনারা যে দোয়াই করবেন, আল্লাহ তাআলা তা কবুল করবেন। আমাদের দর্শকদেরকে বলছি, আপনারা যদি পুরো বিশ্বাসের সাথে ভিডিওটি দেখেন, তাহলে আমি আপনাদের এতটুকু গ্যারান্টি দিচ্ছি, আপনি অতি দ্রুত ধনী হয়ে যাবেন, অনেক টাকা পয়সার মালিক হয়ে যাবেন ইনশাআল্লাহ। তাই অবশ্যই আপনারা সম্পূর্ণ ভিডিওটি পুরো বিশ্বাসের সাথে একটু ধৈর্য সহকারে দেখতে থাকুন, তাহলে আপনি জানতে পারবেন, এমনকি বুঝতে পারবেন। তা না হলে পরে কমেন্ট বক্সে এসে বলবেন আমলটি করেছি কিন্তু কোনো ফলাফল পাচ্ছি না। তাই অবশ্যই আপনারা পুরো ভিডিওটি শুরু থেকে শেষ পর্যন্ত দেখবেন। আমি অনুরোধ করছি, আপনি হিন্দু হন কিংবা মুসলিম, এই ভিডিওটি না টেনে একেবারে শেষ পর্যন্ত দেখুন বন্ধুরা। ভিডিওটি শুরু করার আগে একটু প্রার্থনা করি। হে আল্লাহ, আমাদের সকলকে হালাল রিজিক দান করুন। যারা হালাল রিজিক পেতে চান সকলেই কমেন্টে লিখুন আমিন। এবং এই ভিডিওটিতে একটি লাইক দিন ও যারা চ্যানেলটি সাবস্ক্রাইব করেননি চ্যানেলটি সাবস্ক্রাইব করুন।